wrestling fans, this is Gene Ligon, Thunderfoot #2. You're listening to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is Steve BOWTIE Bryant here. Back in the 90s, I was a pro wrestling photographer for the South, and I released what might have been one of the original sets of indie trading cards. I ran across some of these original sets. They were up in Randall Fanning's attic all this time. PG-13 rookie card, Ricky Morton, George Weingroff as the Sheik, Chris Champion, Reno Riggins, Billy Montana, Gary Valiant, the Scorpion, the Medic, Rick Reynolds, Jeff Daniels, Mephisto and Dante, Ben Jordan, Steve Neely, Marcus Woodrow, Clinton Charisma, Little Farmer John. If you'd like an opportunity to get these cards, contact me now. You can get them for only $49.99. Contact me at stevebowtiebryant at iCloud.com. Get your set now while supplies last.
Hey, this is Jimmy from the Live and in Color with Wolfie D and Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast. Would you like to also make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. And that's how you're hearing this right now. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it's made the job of producing multiple podcasts so much easier. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time to the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast, and I am here as always with my brother from the same father and mother, Jared the Plastic Sheik Street. What's up, Sheik?
Hey, brother, not much. What, are we calling you the Hustler? If we gave you that nickname, I mean, I know you asked Rip to use it in the Wolfie D show. I didn't know if we were.
Yeah, no, I mean, nobody, you don't know, you don't have to call me the Hustler. Just, you know, that's my lifestyle, I should say.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. And I figured, why not ask him? You know, I've got the Hustler here, you know, might as well ask him.
Permission. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So, well, speaking of podcasts, our most recent podcast is crazy, man. Jamie Dundee's blowing up the charts. He's probably the quickest to the top 10 in a long, long time. And I feel like he's probably going to be number one in no time. It's been fun, Gator. We thank you.
Yeah.
For your service.
It doesn't surprise me with Jamie Dundee, though. I mean, it's
yeah, no doubt. He's a live wire. But that episode got some good responses. I think we got a lot of people listening to the show that maybe would have normally listened. So, you know, I love it when a plan comes together. So,
hey, yeah, nice, Hannibal.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a good one today. Mr. Gene Ligon. He's one of those guys that's been around a long time, since the late 70s he started. So, you know, be prepared for some wrestling history to go on today's show, I think.
Yeah, I'm expecting, and I'm sure he's got some good stories to tell, and I'm positive we're going to hear some stuff about Crockett's and all that stuff that we loved growing up. So
yeah, and the Thunderfoot tag team with Joel Deaton.
Thunderfoot, yeah.
It was like something I always was curious about, because Thunderfoots is what they called them, the Thunderfoots. But that is not like Thunder Feet or Thunderfoot. And I think they were like, you're Thunderfoot 1 and Thunderfoot 2. That makes sense, like the assassins. But it's not really grammatically correct, is it? Is Thunderfoots right?
Yeah, I'm not an English major. Thunder. I don't know.
Thunder.
I mean, because then you're talking about like a name, and I don't know. We'll go with Thunderfoots. I don't know.
Thunder Feet sounds better, but again,
but you think about it like a beloved cartoon and toy series, Thundercats.
Right. Thunder. Yeah, kitties.
I mean, yeah.
I can just imagine Dusty. Yeah, Gene, Joe, y'all gonna be the Thunderfoots. Like
if you will.
If you will. But yeah, I hope he tells that story. Of course, we're gonna ask him that, so he'll tell it, I'm sure. But yeah, the Thunderfoot putting together. Joel's such a good dude. If you haven't, go listen to his episode on Live and in Color with Wolfie D. And, and Gene will be the part 2 of the Thunderfoot connection. But anyway, long story short, as I always say, we've got a great one today. I'm excited to see what he's got to say. And such a longtime North Carolina man. And yeah.
I'd say let's get it going.
All right. We'll be right back with Thunderfoot number 2, Gene Ligon, after these messages.
Hey guys, this is Wolfie D from PG-13. Check out my podcast, Live and in Color with Wolfie D, every Monday at noon. We're talking Memphis, we're talking ECW, WCW, WWF, everywhere that I've been. We even have some great guests, some Hall of Famers on the show with us. Every Monday, Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
Are you a pro wrestling fan? Well, stop by Captain's Corner, where you can get autographed photos, cards, magazines, and figures from all of your favorite wrestling superstars of the past, present, and future. You'll also be able to participate in live signings in the weeks and months to come. Make sure to stop by Captain's Corner on Facebook and give us a holler. Remember, cheers to the working man.
One time they announced me from Charlotte, North Carolina. I said, whoa. He said, what? What's the matter? The guy looked at me like I said, because every night it was interesting. Salisbury, North Carolina.
Right.
And all the fans that liked me said, man, you never forgot where you come from. I said, no, Salisbury, North Carolina. My name is Gene Ligon. That's birth name.
Yeah.
And I'm Salisbury, North Carolina.
That's awesome.
And that's what he said. So one night he said, Charlotte, North Carolina. I said, whoa. And it was a good auditorium.
Yeah.
And I walked up and said, you need to do that over. And I was the baby face.
Yeah.
And he said, what's the matter? I said, it's Salisbury, North Carolina. He says, but Charlotte, Salisbury, what's the difference? I said, it's a difference.
Yeah.
So he stopped and he did it again from Salisbury, and everybody went, yeah!
That's great. There's a great place to eat there. I had to do an MRI. I had a back surgery a few years back, and I had a last minute MRI, and they booked me in at the Novant there, or it was a hospital there. And is it the College Inn or something?
Yeah, College Barbecue.
Yeah, man, that place is good. I just took a chance on it. I was like, this is way too busy in the middle of the day to pass this place up. And oh my goodness. Yeah. So
it's so good. There's so many people show up there.
Yeah, understand. Yeah, exactly. I mean, but I just took a chance on it. I was like, I'm just going to and I asked them in the drive-thru, I was like, what's the, best you got? What do y'all have? I've never eaten here. And they were like, oh, we've got this, 300 things they named off. And I was like, okay, let's just go with the basics. Let me try a hot dog. Let me try this. And man, so anytime we're near Salisbury, we always stop there just because it's just a chance we're going to take, so.
I moved up there when I was, I was raised in Charleston, South Carolina. I was born in Florida. Only stayed there a few months.
Okay.
So I was a baby. So,
yeah.
My mom was from Charleston. My dad was from Buffalo, South Carolina, which is near Union, Spartanburg.
Okay, yeah.
And they had met, Marine Corps, the whole bit, got married. 5 years after being married, they had me.
Yeah.
So I was down in Florida, being born in St. Petersburg. He was a traveling salesman selling medical stuff to pharmacists.
Yeah.
He always wanted to be the pharmacist. He says,
yeah.
I don't like being a salesman. Now, he realized that being a salesman, you can make a whole lot more money.
Sure.
But being a pharmacist, he wanted that deal. But he only had a GED.
Okay.
He didn't realize a GED was equivalent to a high school education. He just thought, well, he got out of the Marine Corps, took the test, and passed it. He was one of the first ones to take the GED because it wasn't around before World War II.
Okay.
You want to get a job, you had to have a high school education.
Yeah.
They were pushing. Get your high school education. Get a better job, So he said, okay. So he got, he got the GED done. And so he was like moking around, 1951, 52. And I was a baby. And he said, I'm going to be a pharmacist. And so the guy said, well, you got to go to college. He said, yeah, I only have a high school education. So didn't you take a GED? The guy said, well, yeah. He said, well, that's as good as high school. He said, yeah. You can go on your GI Bill, which was like $17 a month. That's what you got.
Wow. That's, yeah.
College. He had to pay his way through college. He worked at a pharmacy in Charleston, South Carolina. Got paid $0.
Yeah.
Cleaned every night. Guy worked him to death, but taught him how to be a pharmacist. And got his degree from Medical College Charleston with a 9th grade education. That's all he did.
Yeah. Wow.
Took that GED test, 9th grade education. I said, you still only know what you're doing in 9th grade. That's how much better education was back then. 9th grade education, you can go to college.
Right.
And so he got the degree. Next thing you know, 1955, I think it was, he got his degree, became a pharmacist.
Yeah.
He wanted to open his own store. He wanted to be an I'll have my own store. I was a little boy, living in Charleston, South Carolina. So we went down to Hollywood, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Dad had found a building there. It was empty. Started buying stuff to put a store together. He was, in debt, like $4,000 or $5,000. That's like, oh my God, a lot of money.
Right.
Started being a pharmacist. And the problem was in that town, it's a town of people.
Right.
A doctor there ran the town. He gave you medicine. He told you what to take. He was the king.
Yeah.
Dad coming to town, so this great little town. I'll have enough business, the only pharmacist, as a blinking light, basically. That was it. And, a few hundred people live in the area. So
yeah,
the doctor started antagonizing him and started filling prescriptions in the doctor's office. And Dad it's against the law. You can't do that. So Dad was struggling real hard. So finally someone moved to Charleston. So that's where Mom was from. Went over to a store there, had a little house, and I'll find the house and send a picture of it. It's still there.
Yeah.
And you go, holy mackerel. It looks terrible now, but back then it was a decent little house.
Yeah.
He started working and had his own store in Rexall drugstore in Charleston, Dorchester Avenue.
That's awesome.
And did that for about 4 or 5 years, and then they had the race riots, came to Charleston, South Carolina, all busted out all the glasses in the store. He's like, and the insurance will cover the first glass, but not the second glass.
Oh, man.
And they busted them out again, so he had plywood up on all the windows. It looked like he was going, not in business, and so he said, shoot, I'm going to have to close it down. So he shut it down, but he didn't declare bankruptcy because he was honorable enough to know, I owe these different companies a total of about $20,000, which I know today that's nothing.
Right.
But when you're only earning $6,000 a year as a pharmacist, and that's what pharmacists pay.
Holy cow.
Now it's like 100-something thousand. But
yeah,
he's making $6,000 a year. He said, I'm going to move to Salisbury, North Carolina, the VA hospital up there. They're needing a pharmacist. So he moves to Salisbury, leaves us there till the school year's out. Then came back down and got us, and we drive that 1960 Buick all the way up to Salisbury, North Carolina. Granite Quarry is where we lived at, which is right outside Salisbury. And he started working in the VA. And we found a house there we could rent for like $40-something a month. The guy had built it himself. He said, well, you want to buy it? I said, yeah, how much would that be? He said, well, I'll finance it for you. So he financed it. It cost about $10 more a month, $50-something a month. And we lived there till I was 30.
Wow.
And my mom passed away about 8 years ago, and she was 90-something years old. And the house was selling for $125,000, but they bought it for $7,000. And they said that this house worth $125,000. And the guy said, if it was in Cabarrus County, the house would be worth close to $300,000.
Yeah.
But it's Rowan cheap rent, cheap all that stuff. So that's where we lived. And I still go, but man, I should have bought that house because Mom died. We were going to move in the house with her. And she says, no, it's going to cost too much to fix the house up. Y'all don't need to do that. Mom, we live in the basement. My wife, we don't have any children, so we live in the basement.
Yeah.
Because, she was getting 90 years old, but she wasn't fragile.
Yeah.
But just want to be near her in case of something. But about 3 years later, she died in the hospital, swallowing food and choked on it and died. She didn't die.
My gosh.
I said, where were you guys at?
Right.
That was that. So I said, we could have moved into this house, could have bought it for, $120,000, give half of it to my brother. We keep it up. That way we've got a house. But now we got a house here, which cost us $175,000. Yeah. And we just got our tax assessment in. Did you get your?
Yeah, we sure did. Yeah. Yeah. Have it.
I didn't realize I'm partial. I'm $340,000 value of this house now. I said, what did we do?
Right.
We put up blinds. That's good. And of course, they just passed, they get $60 million for renovating all the recreation. There might be a slight property tax increase. Well, there it came.
Yeah.
It doubled from 7 to 340. I said, man. Right. My neighbor across the street says, I got 3 houses on rent. He said, I became an instant millionaire.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's so funny, that house in Charleston's probably worth $2.5 million, even in the shape it's in now, because that place is so high priced.
I'll send you the picture. You'll know.
I'm just playing though. But my brother,
if they kept it up, made it look nice, everything, it would sell for decent. But it's when we lived out in Hollywood, we lived on the water of the inlet coming into Hollywood. Yeah. And I look it up all the time. We lived on a plantation, a little small house. There was the plantation house, but there were several houses there that farmers used to live in, and slaves too. And we lived in a little cinder block house, which is about the size of that office you're in right now.
Okay.
We lived on the water. I'm like, this is nice. But then living on the water was considered low rent.
Right.
So it changed.
Right.
So when I took my wife out there, I said, let's go out and see it. We found it. Now, hey, there's the house we used to live in, but it's all gone now because a hurricane wiped it out.
Oh, man.
See the plantation house? It's just a nice looking house. It's not even fancy. But there was a house in the woods down the street there. I said, what that house was going for? It was a nice little house, wasn't nothing fancy. And of course, we looked up on the phone. It said, no, nice home, waterfront property, all this stuff, 2 acres of land. And I said, called the guy up. He said, we're going for $550 on this. $550.
Yeah.
See, it's got a waterfront property. And I said, thank you. And I said, well, here's what it is. They got waterfront when the water's in.
Right.
When it's out, you got a stinky marsh.
Yeah.
They only show you the house when the water's up.
Right.
So that's great. But that's it. So enough of that. So just that's great. It's a great way to start the show.
What's funny is my brother and my father and a lot of his wife, my sister-in-law, are all pharmacists. So you're home. You're home.
Don't ever believe the doctor.
Yeah.
When you go to the pharmacist, you say, "Hey, doc." I always call doc. Hey, doc, what's up? My dad was called doc all the time.
Yeah.
He said, the docs want me to take this. What do you suggest? He said, well, doctor, I'm asking you.
Yeah.
They don't know that. You know this. They are the prescriber. You are the facilitator.
Right.
I said, because my dad used to catch the doctors make mistakes all the time. They called up and said, Doc, says, you got Mrs. Jones over here taking this for her medication. Yep, that's what I want to have. He said, what about the other stuff you gave her a year and a half ago? She still got it,
Yeah.
No, she's still taking that. Yeah. Well, don't give her that. Don't give her that. He said, together, kill her.
Kill her.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, man, my dad had a young pharmacist. He was making $25,000 a year at Kroger in Salisbury. New pharmacy boy comes in to take, be an assistant. Dad was asking, so I said, we out of medicine, Mr. Ligon. He said, well, make some. I said, I got all the stuff and all the materials are behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy brought it out, had everything you needed. He said, stir it up. So he started stirring up, and he was mixing it all together. He said, it won't mix. He said, what do you mean it won't mix? He said, well, I've added water to it and tried to stir it up. It's just all clotting up like crazy. He said, you added water? He said, son, you added alcohol. You don't add water.
Yeah.
He said, don't you notice all the cough medicine has 2% alcohol, 12% alcohol, 80% alcohol?
Yeah.
He said, alcohol is a mixer. Water's not. Water's a separator.
Right.
He said, you don't know that? He said, we never were shown that. All we did was shown how to count pills and what pills will interact with the wrong pill.
Yeah.
So he said, and then he saw his paycheck. He was making $10,000 more a year than my father was as a rookie.
Oh, my gosh.
My dad was running the pharmacy, so the Kroger people didn't tell him. So Dad called the Kroger boss up and said, come here and talk. He said, I got the weekends. Dad would work the weekends the guy had during the week because Dad liked the weekends. He'd see people, he talk politics. And he was a legislator, so that's why he worked the weekends.
Yeah.
And he called him up and said, he said, I see where my new assistant is getting paid $10,000 more than I am. He said, well, Brad, he's a new kid out of college. I said, well, why not get $10,000? He said, well, then that's your paycheck. That's what you agreed to. He said, I know, but I didn't know everybody was getting a raise. I didn't get one. Right. You're getting ready to retire one day. He said, tell you what, it's Fridays tomorrow, right? He said, yeah. Got the other boy's off. He's going. He's going to the beach. See you later. Bye. So Dad says, I'm supposed to be coming in. Yeah, I'm not. Said, what do you mean you're not? He says, I might come down ill. And he said, and the rule was the pharmacy was open then.
Right.
Now they have it all enclosed. But at that time, if the pharmacy was an open pharmacy, you couldn't open the store. If the pharmacist wasn't there.
Holy cow.
They shut the pharmacy down and still have the store open.
Sure.
But Dad says, I won't be here. He said, well, we can't open the store. He said, yeah, I suggest you start talking to your boss about the raise. So I called him up and I said, Brad, we got the raise pushed through. We got you. We covered you. So he said, last paycheck, that was he was making $35,000 a year. But he liked politics more than anything. He was a legislator from Rowan County.
There you go.
North Carolina.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So he pulled a little, little hard potato there. I ain't going to work. And Dad would never. He'd still come to work because he cared about the people who was sick. But he said, they're doing me wrong. I said, yeah, you got to go hardball, Dad.
Yeah. You have to.
Every year paid him $10,000 less than what he deserved. So that's just little things. My dad was a good man. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Well, he raised a good man, too, and we're so happy to have you here. Thunderfoot Gene Ligon is with us here today on the show, and, I can't wait to get into more of this conversation. You've started us off so well, so, Jared, take the first question, if you don't mind.
Jared.
So, Gene, this is a question I like to ask that starts out the conversation for us as far as wrestling goes, and it lets everybody know kind of your influences or who you like to watch or whatever. If you had like a Mount Rushmore, like 4 or 5 wrestlers that you really looked up to or really like to watch, who would that be?
Oh, Ole Anderson.
Boom.
Oh, love it.
Because he showed the toughness and also the mental part of the game.
Right.
The funny line I heard one time is the Ole and Gene and Arn were all sitting around, and all the guys were just the guys love to rib each other like crazy. Boom, boom, boom. And who had the best comeback? So they were talking, yeah, wrestlers, yeah, sure, Anderson, y'all this, and y'all that. So, yeah. He said, and then Arn looked at him and said, well, all I know is this. We're the only team where everybody says, I don't know about everybody else, but the Andersons matches are real.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Absolutely.
Still, Arn was beautiful, and Ole was good. But Ole would, if he wanted you to express something, he'd say, whoa, yeah. You have to imagine anything at all. But I always watched Ole when I was younger. I watched him and said, that's a tough man. And he was always very polite to me. I don't know. For some reason, I didn't hang out with him or anything.
Sure.
But one time his boy was wrestling in high school. And they were traveling through the area, and they came up to Charlotte for business and everything. And he called me. He said, Gene, this is Ole Anderson. Hey, Mr. Anderson, how you doing? Listen, I'm in town for the weekend. My boy's with me. He's a little freshman. I think he's a freshman or sophomore in high school. And he thinks he's hot patootie. I said, really? Yeah. He said, I need some guys to work out with him. You got any buddies? I said, because he knew I had wrestling buddies and everything. I said, yeah, I got a buddy of mine in Gastonia. Where you going? He said, well, I'm in Charlotte at the Knights Inn, which that's typical Oldie, the cheapest place he could find. And I said, well, let me call him up. So I called him. He said, yeah, we can meet over at the high school, at Hunter Huss High School in Gastonia. So I got a few of the boys. I'll get them lined up. And so it was near wrestling season anyway. So they were starting workouts. He said, what time will meet? I said, I said, make it 1 o'clock. So we drive over to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was like school wasn't going on at the time. So get there, and all of a sudden got these black kids there, a couple of redneck country boys, and here's Oldie's boy. And Oldie's boy in shape, looked good, but he's wrestling in Georgia. There ain't a whole lot of wrestling going on in Georgia out in the middle of the country where you'll be wrestling top wrestlers. You're going to meet. I tell my kids I coach wrestling with, I said, listen, we went to the conference and you did really well. You came in first place, second place, third. I had 3 guys, first, second, and third. This year I had 3 guys get 1 second and 2 thirds. But it's a conference match. You're wrestling guys who are in your conference, which is your equals, you're the same guys. We go to regionals, you're not going to leave guys who are not wrestlers. You'll meet a guy who is a wrestler, and the guys that's on a wrestling team, and then there's wrestlers. I said, and I go out there, I got that, just like that, boom. I said, how'd that go? I picked me up like I was nothing. I said, yeah. I said, you've been wrestling with guys. Today you met a guy who's a wrestler.
Right.
There's a big difference. And Ole Anderson is a wrestler. And so he said, I said, you're telling your boy he should do this and this and this, and he ain't listening. He said, he don't listen to me. I said, you're too close. I said, as the Bible tells you, I said, a prophet in his own land has no ability to, he's yeah. That's why Jesus wasn't accepted that quickly, because that's so-and-so's boy.
Right. Mary Joseph's. He's from around the corner. Yeah.
He used to work on wood. What does he think he is? Oh, my God, you're kidding me? Right. He's a prophet in his own land. He can tell them the absolute truth, and it ain't good enough. I said, Ole, that's what prophet is. He says, yeah. He said, they won't listen to me. I said, well, he'll listen today. So they go down there, and I'm still on the mat. I can still roll around with the kids. And I said, all right, come on here, Anderson. And he comes out there, gets on the mat. And he goes against, I said, this kid's a freshman. He said, yeah. See, freshman, boom, 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 pow, hit it. Watch it. Hop up. You want to do it again? Let's go. He got decked so many times. And he had good ability, but he just didn't have the experience. And these kids were just country boys and just, street kids that just were tough. Yeah. And they whooped him all day long. And always over just smiling on the inside. Like, his humbleness, he's getting humbled big time. By the end of practice, the kid had a different attitude.
Oh, I'm sure. I bet.
He thought he was beating everybody in town at his house, and he couldn't even get off the mat in 45 seconds, decked. Decked. He said, all these guys got experiences. They're all freshmen. Huh? Yeah, they're all freshmen. And none of them seniors out here. We brought the seniors out here, you'd make you cry.
Right.
So that was good there. And then the kid got better as the years went by, of course. But Ole Anderson, he was, tough guy. Yeah. And Arn loved Arn. Arn's same thing. So I put them sort of like intertwined. And Gene was, a hero. You watched him as a boy growing up. You saw Gene, the Andersons. Wow, man, that's the tough. He don't look very strong, but man, he makes those guys cry when he squeezes them. Gene was just tough. He could take a beat, and you know what? Sometimes you take a beating and you end up winning because you can take it for a while, and all of a sudden, bam! Gene Anderson one time had a stroke. I don't know if y'all ever heard this story or not. And he had a little stroke, and he always had a little tick thing, but he had a stroke. So they go to the doctor, and he had, he didn't stroke completely out. He was still mentally capable, but it affected his arm, and his arm was weak. So they take him to the doctor, and Sandy Scott take him. Well, Sandy is like funniest to me. So they go to the doctor, and the doctor says, Mr. Anderson, what seems to be a problem? I had a little bit of a stroke. I think I had a little bit of a stroke. It's starting to affect my right hand. I'm losing strength. He said, well, squeeze my finger, Mr. Anderson. And Gene looked over at Sandy and said, Sandy? And Sandy said, Gene, do what the doctor told you. Squeeze his finger. Okay. So he grabs the doctor's 3 little fingers right there and squeezes them. And as the doctor goes to his knee, he's saying, no, it's not. Whoa, that's not. Whoa. You've had a stroke and you've almost broke my hand. Good thing I had a stroke, Doc. he could snap pliers in his hands. There's certain guys have tendon strength. Right. They don't muscular, but they just crack. There was another guy I never met, but they said he'd walk up and he's grab a pair of pliers. Pop! There you go, throw them up.
Yeah.
Just tremendous power in their hands. Difference in weightlifting guys now and guys who just had this natural power about them.
It's natural strength.
I watched all them guys go up. I said, thought you could. Nelson Roll told me one time. Nelson Roll, another hero too. Nelson Roll told me one time. He said the difference in now, which was 1985, 86, and when he wrestled, he said there's some battles, some legit stuff going on, and said everybody talks about it's fake. Well, torn. I got replaced shoulder. And had this thing operated on twice on this side. Got a torn tricep, had it applied. Torn hamstring. Both knees, had one knee replaced, one's been operated. It all came from wrestling. It didn't come from me playing football or anything. It came from
it don't feel very fake, does it?
My fake injuries. so,
right.
And so he said that, he had a match one time where the guy was a bit of a jerk. And they throw punches at each other. Sometimes it's called a potato when you accidentally hit a guy too hard. And, it could be stiff. And then the next one would be light. And you realize the guy just timing was off. But he said this guy was laying potatoes in. And all of a sudden, comes another potato. And another potato. He said, son of a gun. So he realized, he said, I'm not going to get him now. I'll get him later.
Right.
And he done knocked him almost completely out. He later got beat. I got pinned. So he said 5 years later. I said, 5 years? He said, 5 years later, we've had several matches together. We've been, rode together, driving together. But now we've got this big battle thing lined up where me and him are going at it. And so basically renewing what they did 5 years ago. And he said, get ready to get in the ring. And so shot the guy off. He said, duck. And as he ducked, uppercut. He laid on top of him and says, I told you I'd get you. Next time it happens, I'll kill you. And they'd kill each other.
Wow.
I said, she didn't want to make no enemies in the old days. He only got cut up by a knife one time in a match in Greenville, South Carolina.
I've heard that.
He was sitting there self-cutter as he pounded on the guy as he's holding his guts together. I said, holy cow, not that tough. I'm not that tough.
Yeah.
I was that tough. I could do that. No, that hurt.
Yeah.
I had to tore my pec one time in a match. I said, well, I got to at least be as good as Ole Anderson. So I'm sitting there going, I tore my pec at Florence, South Carolina, and the guy dropped a knee on it, and I said, popped it. It just, I was numb. That's all right. I got up and I flexed. That thing rolled right over here. I went, oh no, I ain't having this. So finished the match. So I go to the emergency room, and the doctor says, so Doc, do that. He said, yeah. He called interns over here. Brought all these like 6 or 7 interns over. They stood there in front of me. I'm looking at all these rookies. I'm like, what the heck? He said, sir, flex your chest. So I flexed, that thing rolled right over, He said, ladies and gentlemen, this is what's known as a torn pectoralis major muscle. Thank you, Mr. Ligon. I said, do I get any help here? He says, I suggest you go see your doctor when you get home and get it operated on. You got a week or so. I said, okay. He said, they'll tie it back on. It's not that big of a deal. But if you leave it alone, it'll just stay curled up. I said, I don't want to be curled up. That looks ugly. And you want to have a chest that's, instead of going, ooh, what's that hole in your chest?
Yeah.
So I went, I had to wrestle. I wrestled that Saturday, and I had a match in Asheville, North Carolina the following day. So I'm sitting here in pain. And it wasn't hurt bad, like sharp pain. It's just dull. It just hurt. So I get the next morning. I didn't tell my mom and dad. Next morning, my head in Asheville. And I'm sitting there, my arm hanging down. It's starting to turn black because the blood's starting to pool. It's starting to turn black. I'm like, oh gosh, I can still move it around. You still have capability. It's just a little funny, you know. It's not quite right. So I go up there. The guy that's wrestling there, what was his? I can't think of his. I'll think of, but he was Lee Ramsey. Lee Ramsey was the guy I'm wrestling. Now Lee was a little guy, you know. We were both rookie guys, basically. Yeah. So Lee says, "What are we going to do, Gene?" I said, "Oh, do a couple of this," but I said, "I can't take a fall. I can't take a bump because my shoulder is killing me. My chest is killing me." He said, "Oh, don't worry about it." So we lock up, and doing out habits out of habits. First thing he does is tears the arm off and does the twist thing. I'm like, oh. I said, "Lee." Oh, I'm sorry. And he couldn't undo his thinking. Because you have these little routines you get in your head. Shoot a guy off, give him an elbow, backdrop, stuff, bop, 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 bop. It's the habits. And I'm sitting there going, "Lee," I said, so Lee shoots me off, gives me an elbow to the chest, boom, I hit the ground. And the whole time he's thinking, "Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing?" I said, "You're killing me is what you're doing." So I'm still taking the bumps. And finally, he goes up for a drop kick. And I swapped his hands, feet away from him. He falls. I crawled on top of him. I said, "Don't you get up." 1, 2, 3. I guess, so I crawled out. The guy's ready. I still raised the wrong arm. So I get in the car. I go home that night. The next morning, it's black. My whole arm, blood's run down. So I go to the doctor. He said, "We got to have an operator, have a surgery Thursday." I said, "Okay." So in my head, I'm thinking, I don't have any insurance. I've saved my money up from wrestling. It's going to be all gone by the time I'm done. And I said, okay. So I go Tuesday. He said, "You're in Spartanburg." I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to tell somebody? Don't book me because you die for bookings. You die for them. And I said, I can't tell them don't book me. So, okay. So I go down to Spartanburg, South Carolina. We got the Rock and Roll Express. I said, oh, my gosh, going to be drop kicks like crazy. Now, and so I go back. No, it wasn't Spartanburg. I'm sorry. It was at Gaffney, South Carolina, Tuesday night.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And, it might have been a Monday night. But it's Gaffney, South Carolina at the college there, Limestone College. And we're there, and I go back to the dressing room, and I knock on the doors with Rock Roll over there. "Jay, what's up? We got you tonight, right?" I said, yeah, I got me tonight. Said, and it was Tuesday night. Tuesday night, because we did TV taping. "So we got you for TV?" I said, "I know." I said, "Listen, I can't take a bump. I am sitting here sweating with pain right now. It's hurting. I can take pain, but this is hurting." He said, "Who you got tagging with you?" I said, "It's a new kid." He said, "Let him start." Because the old guy starts. The experienced guy always starts first and then tags out to the rookie guy to get his butt handed to him. Right. So that's what the guys did to each other. He said, "Don't start and don't come in." I said, "And don't tag." I said, "Okay." So I'm sitting on the sideline, got my hand on the turnbuckle right here, rope right here, and he said, "You ready to go?" I said, "Go ahead and start." "Oh, you start?" "Yeah." "Oh, yeah." "Oh, that all right." Yeah. I was in there, and of course they shooting back and forth, boom, 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 boom. He's done about 5 or 6 bumps already. He reaches over to tag me, and I'm kind of like looking the other way. "Hey, how you doing?" "Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the tag." So we're sitting there, and they beat him. And I go back finally. So that Thursday, I had surgery. I had it put back together, and I show up about a week later at Crockett Promotions. I think it was a Monday. Might have been Monday because that's when you had Fayetteville. I'm sitting there going, "Mr. Crockett," and I'm asking Mr. Crockett for a loan. Now, I want to ask my mom and dad because, it's a thing. You got to be a man. I asked my mom and dad for money. So I go, "Mr. Crockett, can I borrow $1,500? He said, "Well, Gene, I don't loan money to wrestlers." There's a real good reason why, because they skip. They just take. But I'm from here, Mr. Crockett, because I'm different than the rest of you. I'm special. Treat me special. He said, "No, Gene, I don't loan money to wrestlers. I made that a policy." I went, "Okay, I just take it like this." And I'm sitting there, and I never had a conversation with Mr. Crockett more than 2 seconds, but we'd had about a 5-minute conversation. I got to know, and I'm getting ready to get up, and just that moment, the door comes slamming wide open, and there's Dusty Rhodes in his glory. Dadgummit. He didn't say dadgummit. Son of a gun. He didn't say son of a gun. Down there in Atlanta, Georgia last night, wrestling. He's refereeing. He drunk as a skunk during the match, and he's in a jail or something. He can't be at the match tonight because I fired him. And I got nobody to referee the matches in Fayetteville for tonight. And I said, I'm in a sling. I got my arm in a sling right here. I'm like, okay, be stupid. I can do it. Look, how are you going to do it with a sling on? So I pulled my arm out of my sling and put it in my pocket. And I stood there and I jumped down on the ground like a burpee. Jumped down, went 1, 2, 3. I got back up with one hand, because you got one hand push-up, that was nothing. And one hand push-up, got back up and said, is there anything else I need to do? He said, well, that about covers it right there. The rest of it was just about walking around pointing and stuff like that. The rest of it hit the ground 1, 2, 3, get back up. I said, that's it? He said, yeah. He said, be in Fayetteville tonight, be there by 7 o'clock. I said, all right. You got a shirt? I said, I got a refereeing shirt from high school. I used to referee high school matches and college matches in college. I said, I still get the uniform. I got white shoes, though. He said, don't worry about your shoes. I'm not going to buy a brand new pair of black shoes. I said, I got some white tennis shoes. He said, that'd be good enough. Be in Fayetteville. All right. So I get to Fayetteville, and Johnny Weaver is the guy organizing everything. What are you doing here, Ligon? I said, I'm the ref. He said, you're the ref. All right. Because he was going to have to ref. He said, well, I'm glad you have to do it. He said, yeah. I said, I'll be doing reffing for a while because of his shoulder. He said, or his pec. He said, all right. So I did the wrestling, got up, and went home that night. And I'm like, okay, how sore am I going to be tomorrow? So I got this sling going on. I was substitute teaching at the same time at the middle school. $20 a day, gentlemen. Big money. $20. And so they substitute teach, and they beat me on my beeper, which was costing me like $11 a month. Beep, beep. Ooh, I call. Yeah, y'all call? I said, yeah. Ligon, can you be at so-and-so referee tonight? I said, yeah. Yeah, so got to move somebody around. So I had to drive 3 hours. I said, I might be a little bit late because no problem. So I get there right before the bell. I'm walking in with the shirts on. Boom, boom. Ring the bell. Let's do it. Ding, 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 ding. And back home. I'm laying in bed at night. I get home at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm laying there like this. And the school would call you at 5 a.m. in the morning because they got to get their organization. Ring, 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 ring. Hello. Mr. Ligon, yes. This is Mr. Johnson down at North Rowan Middle School. Can you come in and substitute day? I said, sure. Goodbye. And as a minute goes by, I said, who just called? I don't even know who called. Hello. Now I'm trying to figure out who am I supposed to go substitute. So finally I just take a guess. It's got to be Rowan Middle. Everybody skips Rowan Middle. So I go to Rowan. Am I supposed to be here today? Yes, sure. Okay. So I started getting a little note here. West Rowan High School, East Rowan High School. They had to write them down because you forgot. But I got called from North Rowan all the time. And then we lined up. I see Crockett and them were trying to do some expanding because they were getting punked out by WWF. But all the videos they do live and on traveling and stuff like that. They want to start traveling. How can we do videotaping and find venues to do videotaping instead of just doing it in a studio, which looks so lame? I said, I know people at school system. How's that going to help? I can get you in a school. You can get us in a school. Yeah, I'll get you in a school. And I was substituting North Rowan. They needed my butt. Yeah. They called me every day. So I went to school. I said, we're trying to raise money, Mr. Ligon. I said, how would y'all like to raise $2,000 or $3,000 in one night? Get out of here. How are you going to do that? I said, have a pro wrestling match. And they all went, oh, are you kidding me? Pro wrestling match? There's no way they'd come to our school. I said, they will if I ask. So, of course, I already knew they were looking for a place.
Yeah.
If I get a phone call, they may come because I have all this power. So I said, and Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Vang was the hot thing at the time. He was hot. He was the hottest thing on TV. So we're sitting there, and I said, I can get you at North Rowan High School. He said, well, so they all came. The electrician guys came down and looked at it. Said, hey, got power from that source over there. It's going to be on the edge of using so much power, it may blow the system. But they felt like they were within the window. I said, yeah. So it holds about 1,500 people with seats on the floor. I said, when's the last time we had 1,500 people at a TV tape?
Yeah.
Never. I said, that's right. Yeah. So 1,500, they had a contract deal it was $10 to come to the match, like $10 from ringside. It was $8 for general admission. And if you fill the whole place up, $1,500, I mean, you're talking $1,500. You're talking about it's a $10,000 or $12,000 night. School could get 30% after the first $2,000.
Yeah.
So school would end up making $3-4 grand.
Which you told them, yeah.
So I'm saying, guys, do you think you can pack it out? I said, I think we can. So when they came down, I said, you know, we have a railroad car system, a railroad system here in Spencer, North Carolina. It's the historic transportation facility.
Right.
My dad was in the legislature. He got funding because this town was wanting to upfit everything. He said, we get some grants there. So my dad was very, very high in response to that thing. And they had just finished making it beautiful. They added much more to it now. But I said, they started talking around and said, think the Boogie Woogie Man will do good here? I said, you're doggone right. So they put him in the train. If you find the old videos of Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man riding in the train, doing his thing, you know, he's like, boom, 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 boom. And I said, there it is. And he went to the high school that afternoon because we were done taping, got done by 3:30, 4 o'clock. Well, actually about 2 o'clock. So we go into school, and the kids are still there. And he's walking through. He looks like an old man with long hair, right? Not an old man, but just like had the beard, the whole thing. And they walk, hey, Mr. Ligon, how you doing, Coach? I said, pretty good. I said, look at that over there. He said, who's that? I said, you don't know who that is? No, I said, it's Boogie. Hey, Boogie. What's Boogie doing here? Oh, we got wrestling here tonight. Yeah, and Boogie came early just to meet you guys. That ain't Boogie. And I said, I looked over at Boogie. He was about, 150 feet away. I said, Boogie, do Boogie. He went, he said, it is Boogie. The whole school emptied out in the hallway. I mean, everybody's running around screaming, Boogie Woogie's here, Boogie Woogie. Black kids loved him to death. They loved him to death.
Yeah.
And that night, I got to pull another power play. I'm helping to get tickets at the front door. We're packed. We're filled up. I'm going to pack it out, have them flowing out the door. But they had rules and regulations on fire code. Mm-hmm. And here comes the fire marshal walking up with about 3 of his buddies. And I know most of them. I said, what's up, guys? Look, man, you're overcrowded. We can't have this many people here. You got to cut it off right now. We got about 30 more people wanting to come in. General mission. I said, listen, we got these 30 people. Well, they're going to be left out. I'm sorry, they can't come in. We're overcrowded. I said, okay. I said, the fire law is the fire law. As they were saying it, they walked past me. I said, well, where are you guys going? Well, we're going to go watch the matches. I said, you just told me that we're at capacity. That means if you go in there, you're breaking the law because you're past capacity. I said, yeah, but I said, yeah. I said, but 30 more people's not going to make that much difference. He said, get him in here, but cut it off now. So we got the last bunch in because they've been standing in line for hours. I said, come on, yeah, quick. No more. So and it ended up pretty good. Had a great night. School raised about $3,000 to $4,000 that night. And they said, when can we do this again? They didn't want to have popcorn or drinks inside. I said, they just done the floor. I said, you need to get over it. You need to have have popcorn, lots of ice. But don't leave a mess. I said, go to your janitor over there. Tell him you're going to give him $100. He will say, mess it up as bad as you want. At that time, he's probably getting $5 an hour. He had to stay after. So you give him a crisp $100 bill cash under the table. Here, keep it clean. He'll hire 4 or 5 of his little student buddies, and he'll give them all $5 a piece, and they'll be happy as can be. And he was very happy with that $100. And so we did that at West Rowan, East Rowan, South Rowan, went to all the schools in the area and was able to, then they started going to other schools and other venues and stuff like that. So it kind of saved them a little bit because they were trying to find a place to have matches. I said, I got places. Every school wants to know, how'd y'all make that money at a wrestling match?
That's
awesome. Can we do that?
Yeah. So that's very cool. Yeah. Well, so Gene, man, this has been amazing so far. I barely hate to stop this progression. No, sir. No. I was just curious about your start in wrestling, your official start. When was that, and how did that happen?
I was teaching at West Rowan my second year in teaching. My first year in teaching, I was at Kings Mountain Elementary School System. I was a PE teacher for elementary kids. Loved it. I am calling a wrestling match that night at I think it was East Gaston High School. And a girl I dated, we went to see a wrestling match the week earlier of, and I think it was in Charlotte, or it might have been Charlotte, might have been Greensboro, of Swede Hansen and Rip Hawk, Loser Leave Town.
Oh, yeah.
And they were best of buddies, and all of a sudden, boom, y'all, now they're hated enemies. They had beaten each other up badly and said, this is the final match. Loser leave town. So we'd go to the match. She'd never been in a pro wrestling match. I'd only seen one at a small venue, which I watched, Don Pernoodle versus a guy as a rookie, and it was at Shelby, North Carolina. So we go, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun and bloody. They were beating, hit them with pipes on their head and stuff. and so I'm refereeing a high school wrestling match, and all of a sudden she comes out of the ring, out of the match is over with. She comes running down the stairs. You won't believe who's here. I said, why? It's just a little high school, no big thing.
Yeah.
The guys we watched last night wrestle, one of them's here. I said, who? And I looked up, here comes Rip Hawk. Son of a gun. And I introduced my, hi, Mr. Hansen, I'm Gene Ligon. He said, well, I'm not Hansen, I'm Hawk. I said, I'm in Hawk. I said, I saw your match last other night. It was great. He said, I saw you out here moving around a little bit. So why are you here? He said, my son's a heavyweight. I said, he beat his guy that night. I said, oh, your son's a heavyweight. Yeah. I said, man, that's amazing. He said, why don't you come up to Kings Mountain this weekend? You know where that's at? I said, yeah, I know where it's at. And so I was teaching there. So I said, yeah, come on up. He said, at the big recreation basketball court they have there, we're having wrestling there all weekend. We're doing 6 weeks worth of taping in 3 days. I'm like, gee, it's like almost 24/7. They were doing this. They had Mil Mascaras, they had the Kangaroos, Cannonball, somebody, I can't think of their names, but they had all these guys. Rick McGraw. They had Rick McGraw. Rick McGraw was a great wrestler in the Charlotte area, and I'm refereeing against these guys all the time. So I'm like, okay. So I go there and I'm watching, and it's cool. And Rick McGraw is sitting here sweating bullets because he's got to go do the announcing. They got him in a tuxedo announcing. He don't like. He don't talk to nobody. He's just coming out of high school or college, don't talk. So I'm like, I said, you can do it, Rick. Get up there. He did a good job. He did the whole thing, and that was the last time they let him do it. After that, they made him wrestle. But I met all the guys from the old WWF, Chicago area, the New York area. I got Mil Mascaras. I mean, I'd seen him on TV incidentally and different things. There was no YouTube or anything, so I'd seen him on TV, change the antenna around. What is that? Who's these guys wrestling? There was no cable. There was none of that stuff. So we just watched on regular TV. And occasionally you'd see a match out of Florida, and there'd be Gordon Soley, on UHF channel. You're kind of tuning it in to try to get a picture. And that's what you'd see. But you have to do it late at night. And that's how I got introduced to meeting some real people who were in it. And then a year later, I'm at West Rowan High School as a coach because I always wanted to coach. And I was teaching these kids. I should have stood with the kids because that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. I retired in Kings Mountain by now. But I went to West Rowan. I was a wrestling coach there. All my kids there, we were like little brothers of mine. We used to pretend we were Ric Flair. We'd chop each other during wrestling practice. They'd be arrested for doing the things we
Right.
But they're all my boys, right? My boys. Come here, coach. They'd pop me on the chest. I go, mosquitoes. Just mosquitoes. And then when they weren't looking, I go, pow! Oh! And they go, mosquitoes. So that's how we had fun. So one night we all went to a wrestling match and watched it and everything. He said, Coach, you ought to be a wrestler. I said, I weigh 160 pounds soaking wet. I'm going to be a pro wrestler. Sure. I liked it, but I was strong enough to do it, but I was too small. A light heavyweight maybe. And so I go to TV. I'm watching TV. So, man, a new company, the IWA. Who's this guy? Oh, yeah. That guy's got Bulldog Brower. It's just all these different guys' names. I'll think in a little bit. But anyway, I said, well, I want to send off a letter. So I said, if you like try out for wrestling, come on down. You can be a wrestler. I said, okay. So I sent a letter off. They said, and I got back, said, come down and on Sunday at the Triad Arena. Now, where the heck is the Triad Arena? There's no GPS or anything like that. You got a map. Fine. There it is. I-40, get on I-40, boom, little place they had hockey games at. They used to have hockey. So I go there, and big old burly guys out there. I've told this story so many times. Big old burly guy, looks like your brother. Big, but he had a beard, long hair. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm 160 pounds. This guy's 270, 280. I'm like, well, Lord, I don't know if we're supposed to fight that day or what, but we're there. And 40 other guys showed up. I'm like, okay, this guy went, how you doing? He got like, a guy named Chuck, and Chuck was as nice as can be. And we, what are you doing? So we sit there, man. He was from Albemarle, and I was from Salisbury, so we got along good. So we go into the place, the back of the arena, and they got a ring set up. Wow, Dino Bravo showed up. Whoa, Dino Bravo. Bulldog Brower, Johnny Powers, okay. Johnny Powers was there. He was the man, right? He was tall guy, put together pretty good. Until he had a wig on, but that was his thing. And so we get in the ring, and there's 40 of us on the outside of the ring, some on the ground, some hanging on the ropes. And I'm kind of looking at him because I want to get his attention somehow. I'm just look at him. I'm going to act like a jerk. I'm not going to brag about it. I'm going to look at him straight in the eye. As he's instructing how to do something, he's looking around. He sees me looking. He said, "You come here." I'm like, "Oh, what'd I do? What'd I do? They're going to get me and beat me up." Oh no! And I brought one of my wrestlers with me just in case, because I had a little redheaded boy that would fight the world and whoop. If anybody jumps me, get ready. It's going to be one of those.
Right.
I'd back him. He'd back me. And we're ready to go. But so we're sitting there. I get in the ring. And Johnny's put the headlock on me. That's how we do a headlock. Got to lift the head up a little bit. Yeah. You know, proper positioning. You take a guy over. He said, "I'm going to take you over." Ryan took me over. It didn't hurt me. He said, "You're trying not to injure the guy, but we will make sure it's properly done." And I think, because you could do it proper. You could do it improper and hurt somebody, not mean to. So he said, "I tell you what, let's get clear the ring here, clear the ring." I said, "Stay here." So you come. Okay, what am I staying for? Across the ring is the big burly guy. I said, "This guy outweighs me double, easy." I don't know how strong he is, but it's going to be a fight. I'm like, oh gosh, and I'm thinking we're going for it here. And I'm like swallowing my courage. Come on, come up somewhere. I'll take you on, but my gosh. And he says, "I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to run towards him, and you're in a corner over here. You lift your foot up, put it in his chest, and kick him back." I said, "That sounds like gymnastics to me. That's fun." I was a gymnast in college. So I said, all right. So I go running to the guy hard as I can. He brings one foot up, puts it right on my jaw. Bam. I hit the ground. Bam. I said, and I can figure, not coordinated very well. He probably didn't mean to do that. But what got me hot was when I hit the ground, busted my lip. I'm like, son of a... He looked down and went, I went, oh, that's the way it's going to be. So I spun around, got back up, and I looked at Johnny Powers. I said, "Tell him to charge me." He said, "What?" I said, "Tell him to charge me. He got me. I'm getting him. That's the way I do it." He said, "Okay. Let's see how you do it." Well, I knew in gymnastics I can do it, what they call L seat, and a lever where you pull yourself up and you're flat as just like that. Okay. So he comes flying in at me, and I put both feet up. Pow! Both cheeks. Bam! Boom! Hit the ground. Boom. Down at my... I felt bad. I said, "Oh God, I might knock the guy out." I said, "Yeah, all right?" "Yeah." And just a softer voice, "Yeah, I guess I'm okay." And he got up and just as sweet a kid as you're going to meet. He was so scared when he first met us all. He wanted to be tough. But he was a tennis coach at the recreation department in Lexington, North Carolina. 350 pounds, coaching, teaching tennis to okay. And he was raised by older people and everything like that. Good guy, Ken Hopkins. He's dead now. He died a couple years ago. He never got his chance to do anything. He was just a big old burly boy that wanted to beat somebody. And that was how I got into wrestling. 3 weeks later, we had practice every Sunday. And on the third Sunday, they walked and said, "Gene, we need to talk." He goes, "Yes, sir. What can I do?" "Got a contract right here. Get you in wrestling." I said, "Man, I'm thinking NFL type thing. Here we go. We signed me for like $3,000 because at that time a teacher made $8,000 a year. So I'm thinking I can make. He said, "It's going to cost you $1,500 for a 6-week training cycle.
Yeah.
And you feel like you need to go on from there. Well, I said, $1,500? Yeah. Well, that's 2 months' pay. That's more than 2 months' pay because they take taxes out. I said, well, I can't do that. He said, what do you mean you can't do it? He said, it's just $1,500. That's quick. Well, we'll actually finance it for you. We'll do it. I said, no. I said, I just don't think it's for me. So I said, I'll see you later. I said, I don't have the money. So I left. I wasn't going to ask my mom and daddy for it. So it's just because they said, you're out of your mind. I go home. They said, how'd it go? I said, it was tough. They said, but they wanted some money to teach us how to do it. And I ain't paying somebody to teach me how to wrestle. So months go by. It's summertime, June, July. And get a phone call. We're having lunch with my mom and dad. Dad came home for lunch on the weekend, on a Saturday. Got a little quick lunch in. And we're sitting there listening to Paul Hardy, WSAT Radio.
The best.
That's right, Paul Hardy. Listen to him every Saturday morning if I'm having something to eat. And we're sitting there eating sandwich. All of a sudden, phone ring. Ring. And I had to get up, pick the phone up. Hello? May I speak to Gene Ligon? I'm like, hello. Let's see. Sounds like a voice I've heard on TV. It's Johnny Powers. I said, this is Gene Ligon. Gene Ligon, this is Johnny Powers. I said, hey, Powers, how you doing? I need you in Roxborough, North Carolina tonight at 7 o'clock for a wrestling match. But I haven't been trained or anything. Just bring your tights and your shoes, your boots, and your trunks, and we'll see you there at 7 o'clock. By the way, could you bring your friend Chuck with you? Sure. So I hang up. I call Chuck. Chuck, what are you doing tonight? Nothing. We got to wrestle tonight. We got to wrestle. Yeah. Meet me at my house at 4 o'clock. So we don't know where we're going. We've got to find a place. Roxborough, North Carolina. Where the heck is that? It's above Greensboro up towards the Virginia area. So I'm okay. So we get in the car and we're riding. He used to travel. He was a meat deliverer, so he was used to traveling all these roads. He said, I can find it. So he's riding. We go to Roxborough, North Carolina. We don't know anything. We're all along the way. We're trying to figure out like 2 little brothers right there. Like I'm looking at 2 brothers right now. All right, listen, I'll give you a hip toss. You hit the ground, you go ow, 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 and then get up and give me a shoulder shot. Do something, body slam me up, and then at the end of the whole thing, I'll flip over the top ropes. He said, yeah, you do that flip thing over the top rope, sunset flip. So I said, I'll just flip this, jerk the rope, I'll fly over it, boom, boom, roll you up, 1, 2, 3, win. So, but what if we're wrestling against 2 other guys? Well, you box, I wrestle. I'll take it, and when they get up, you punch it because he's a boxer. he could punch. I said, because we'll be in a fight. But we got to fool these guys to believe that we're fighting each other so they know we're not cheating them because they're going to pay us to do something. I don't want to think y'all fake the whole thing. We can't fake it. We got to lay it in there. So we're throwing punches at each other, big parts of the body, blah, blah. And we wanted to be creative. So the first time we reached out to shake hands, he said, I won't shake your hand. I'll look at you like and look at you like you're a piece of crap. I said, okay. I stick my hand out, hey. And he goes, huh, and looks the other way. And I go, shake my hand. And he said, huh, look the other way. And this time I reach my hand out again. He looks down at it and goes, whap, right across my face. Boom, I hit the ground. I went, about knocked me out because he's not used to, he can't pull a punch because he's a boxer. Right. His whole hand, like those things, slap contest. I'm like, my head's on the rope. I'm like, I said, this is my friend. He said, look on your face. I knew I was in trouble. I got up. I said, here we go. So we started locking up, doing those. And we went for 20 minutes, exhausted ourselves. We were so tired. And we go back to the dressing room, and he's on his side, I'm on my side. And our guys, they're not sweaty. They're not breathing hard. They're all smoking cigarettes. I don't smoke. I don't drink. He don't drink. He don't smoke. I'm like, what'd you see? He said, man, they don't look like they're in shape, but they ain't none of them sweating. They ain't none of them tired. They're like, I'm worried. I'm passed out in the shower, laying in the shower, turning the water on. That's me too. I said, these guys are amazing. They don't look in shape, but they're in the most shape of America ever was. I didn't realize it's work. Oh. Didn't realize that for 20 matches. We're crap at each other. Finally, one night, Johnny Powers looked at me and said, go next door and talk to the guy who was the light heavyweight champion of the world. I think his name, but he could talk to him and say, okay. So I said, for what? He said, well, talk to him about a match. I talked matches. Okay, I go there. I said, how you doing? He said, yeah. He said, hey, Gene, I've got a match for you. Yeah. Tell you what, we'll do a little this, a little that. He didn't say anything. He said, we'll do this and that. And I'll put a sleeper on you and it'll be over with. But meanwhile, we'll just kind of bounce around. I'll flip you around. You flip me. I'll call you in the ring. I said, okay. So, okay. I said, man, so we're not trying to beat each other up or anything? He said, oh, no. I said, no, I'd get killed. I said, I got guys out there, they kill me in a matter of seconds, but they don't know how to perform. Oh, okay. So I never had such relief come over me in my life because I don't want to fight, but if I have to, you have to, right?
Right.
But the guy's he's going to help you out. Rip, his name was Rip Tyler. The top Buzz Tyler and Rip Tyler. They were tagging.
Okay.
So Rip Tyler was the light heavy, and Rip was just a great guy. And but he walked me through the whole thing. He said, Duncan, I didn't do it quite right. I did it more like a wrestler, high school wrestler would. But they have their way of doing it in pro wrestling that's slightly different, but more presentable to the crowd. If you go so fast, nobody sees it. He said the beauty thing about pro wrestling is when you go to do something, you could do it a whole lot faster, but nobody's going to see it.
Yeah.
They to see the move where they duck under somebody, go behind, pick the guy up, and then dump him instead of doing a blah, blah, blah. They might be looking down, look up what happened.
Right.
You have to tell the story in a protracted way, slowly but surely, but not
Shakespeare.
It's all Shakespeare. And so I was so happy. That's how I got it. And the last match that IWA had me versus Rip Tyler, and they let me take the title that night. I felt bad. I said, no, I don't get it. You're sure title? He said, no, it's last night. They want to give it to somebody. I said, oh. He said, you don't want it anyway because you have to carry that stupid belt around with you. So you're going to win the belt, and they're going to take the belt. I said, oh, cool. So he did that. And Chuck was refereeing that match that night, and he's just doing the best he can. He went 1, 2, 3. I got him on, yeah. One. And Rip looked at me and said, boy, you screwed up now. They always ribbing each other. So he goes, Chuck, screwed up, man. That wasn't supposed to happen. And Chuck's like, oh. You did fine. And so that was, they said, man, I win the title and close the company. What the heck? And then his podcast, and y'all shut down. What the heck? So what happened to Jimmy? I don't know. They can talk, and the whole place shut down after that.
That's funny.
Where'd y'all go to high school?
Lebanon High School in Virginia near Bristol, Tennessee. Lebanon High School.
Oh.
Yeah, very, very small town, 3,000 people. But yeah.
I know Lebanon, been there.
Yeah. You probably have, and that's the sad part is we missed all this great wrestling before we were born. But hey.
This is Kroll, and you're listening to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling with Jimmy Street and Jared the Plastic Sheik. Be sure to like, subscribe, and view all of our USWO and Saw Wrestling content at Nashville Wrestling Network, exclusively on YouTube.
That's right, it's the talk of Middle Tennessee, the channel you love to hate and the channel you hate to love. It's Brian Turner from Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. And if you're looking for matches from Wolfie D to Jerry Lawler to Dusty Rhodes and the team that put a pimp before your eyes and a goatee between your thighs, Booty Call and Athena, go to lostwrestling.com. See, I made it easy for you. Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. Booyah.
So you went to Mid-Atlantic in 83, and how'd you get your start? How'd you get a connection there with Crockett? What was your connection there?
I did some independent stuff for a few years just to make a few extra dollars.
Yeah.
And I did insurance sales for about 5 years because in 82, my dad got real sick, and he was a smoker. And he was coughing so much he would fall and injure himself. He'd pass out. Oh, one day he was real sick, and so we went back to see him, but he survived it. And I had my 5 years in selling insurance. I could draw a check for as many sales I had made. I could draw a check for about $1,200-$1,300 a month doing nothing. I'd rather do nothing. I was sick of it. So it would slowly get smaller because as each policy fell off the books, I didn't put it back on. So it slowly eat itself to death. So I got at least a year of $1,200 a month coming in. I go home, be mom and dad. I can substitute teach. I can do all this stuff and make a few dollars and try to get back into teaching. But you didn't have the internet then, so you couldn't apply online or stuff. You had to go take a course and do this stuff. I started to go back and get my master's degree. And I was sitting there filling out paperwork, and I realized after about 2 minutes, I was tired of filling out paperwork. And as a master's, you have to fill out lots and lots of paperwork.
Sure.
Doing your study. I said, if I'm not willing to fill this form out, I'm not going to do the stuff for being a master. So I said, screw it. I'll just keep a little bachelor and keep on going. And so I was home with mom and dad. And one day, we're coming from Raleigh. Dad was a legislator in Raleigh, and he had just won in 1980 his first election. He had gotten sick and fallen a lot, but got over it. And so I was home with him. And so I'd drive and be with him during the week in Raleigh. I'd stay in the hotel room and sleep, do nothing. I'd go pick him up, bring him back because he had cracked his ribs, about killed him just from cracked ribs.
Ooh, wow.
And every time he coughed, and so he'd cough so much he fell and broke his ribs falling. And I said, Dad, you're passing out. That's what's caused it. So he finally figured out he had to quit smoking. He threw his cigarettes away. He balled them up. He said, done with it. And
cold turkey.
Yeah, cold turkey. So that's the only way. And he said, my mind is stronger than my body. Always remember, my mind is always stronger than your body. The body will argue with you on that. But anyway, so we were coming back one day, and on the radio, I'm driving. And here it is, job opportunities in America, North Carolina. Here we are right here. Oh, look at this one right here. We got a job opportunity on Employment Security Commission. It says we have a job opportunity. If you want to be a professional wrestler. And right there, my dad looked at me and said, you want to try it? I said, he knew I wanted to do something athletic-wise. I said, yeah, listen to it. Say, go to the unemployment office or the Employment Security Commission. And then they had these microfiche plastic things you stick on there, and you roll it around. Look, so I went to Salisbury, North Carolina on that Monday, got out the micro. I said, I'm looking for a job, professional wrestling. Rumbling like, are you out of your mind? They didn't know. It was just, it's thousands of jobs, right? So I'm sitting there and got wrestling. How's it sit? So there was pro wrestler, dude. Somebody to wrestle single, tag team, mixed pairs, 6-man, and be on the road. So I said, okay, apply at this position right here. I gave the address, which was Crockett Promotions address. Be at the Charlotte Coliseum, which is Bojangles Arena now. Charlotte Coliseum on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. And show up. So I'm showing up. I have knee surgery scheduled that Thursday. I've always got something screwed up on me before I do something. You want to go in fresh and strong. I got to go in weak and tired. So okay. I show up, and there's about 30, 40 guys there, all sizes, little fellows. I mean, I'm like, what are you even applying for? My gosh. Now, I'm 230 pounds then because I'd been selling insurance. I'd put on some weight. It's like you eat all the time, and then you say, oh, think about working out. But
right.
You just sit there, and you're always in the car riding. And I put on weight, lifting weights, trying to get in shape just to do something. But I played softball a lot, so it just wasn't in wrestling shape. So I was about 230 pounds, and I'm like, okay. But I was soft 230. The picture you see me standing doing like this, the little wrestling card, that was shortly thereafter. So that's how fast it was. That was in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I took that picture. But I'm sitting there, okay, let's go to Bojangles Arena. My dad said, I'll go with you. It's okay, because Dad's state legislature, he says, I'll make sure they're going to pull a little hoodoo on you. Because we don't know who these people are. Jim Crockett Promotions. Promoters, how they're like circuses. Could be crooked as can be. So we'll go down there. My brother goes with it. So they're up in the stands. And first thing they have us do is we got to run 4 laps around Bojangles Arena. I'm like, what? 4 laps around. So we got to run the parking lot, which is about a mile and a half if you take 4 laps. I'm like, holy crap, I'm not doing this. So I did a little lap, walked a little bit, took a shortcut, came around, and me and Chuck are trying out together. And so we come in. He said, "I got a camera here. I want you to do an interview right fast." I'm like, okay. So I did the best interview I could do, like that. Do it. See if we could talk in front of a camera without getting all froze up. So I done, and basically did my thing. He's like, go inside. So he goes inside. He said, okay, about a line up right here. We're all lined up at the bottom of the stairs. We're going to do a push-up, okay? Then you're going to run all the way to the top of the Bojangles ring, which was called Charlotte Coliseum, and come back down and give me 2 push-ups, okay? Then you go all the way to the top, and you come back down. You're going to give me 3 push-ups. And the guy said, we're going to do this till you hit 25. So I'm already doing calculation. It's like 200, 300 something push-ups. This is not going to be easy. And in fact, you're going to make 25 ups and downs. And my knee is swollen already from that little stupid run outside, which I did not run. I walked. I said, okay. So I got a young buck right next to me. He's like, yeah, let's do this. I'm like, I'm 33. He's a young buck. I'm 32, turning 33. And I was like, okay. Young buck, 18 years old, 145 pounds. Yeah. He's gonna be my bell cow. So I get all the way up, almost all the way up, and I start turning around. He's already up there and coming back. As soon as he starts to go back the other way, I go back down. So I didn't get half because the knees hurt.
Right.
So I'm like, I'll get down and do push up, boom, boom. Halfway up, I'm noticing that Gene Anderson, which is the guy hosting this whole thing, he ain't paying no attention. So the kid goes about 4 miles drive. Where you at now? He says, I'm on number 12. I said, yeah, 13. So I've done about 25 push-ups total. This kid's at 100 something already. So by the time he got to 25, which is 300 something push-ups, I was like, yeah, 25. Yeah. And then we had to jump over things. Now the knee's not liking that. So we had to do squats. Go to the top, back down, squat. So they're just trying to beat us down because they had 3 guys waiting for us. Mike Rotundo and Jerry Briscoe. Yeah, Jerry Briscoe. It wasn't Jack, it was Jerry. And there was another guy there. I don't know if it was Dino Bravo or somebody. It was one of the guys that was, a middle road guy. Yeah. And Mike Rotundo had just arrived in Charlotte area. He just graduated Syracuse, stuff like that. He was in wrestling shape. So get there and I'll say everybody gathers around. Everybody's done it. Yeah, we all do it, man. We're tired. I'm lying like crazy. I'm tired. Can't do another push-up. Well, I'm done. It's a good workout. So he said, I got somebody in the ring. Salisbury. Because Gene had figured out I'm from Salisbury. And my dad was later. He said, well, your dad? Your dad legislator? I said, yeah. He's right over there. Oh, that's your dad? Oh, okay. So he kind of like, Salisbury, get in the ring. So I get in the ring, and there's Mike Rotundo acting like he's mad at the world for some reason. But he just got in Charlotte. He's got his family and everything like that moved there. So I'm like, okay, he's got to be a tough guy. I'm trying to be cordial. Hey, how you doing? Reach out, shake his hand. He just looked at me like, I ain't your friend. So he said, get down in referee's position. So I got in referee's position, which that kind of shocked him because I knew what it was. And he said, okay. So I said, Mike, I've got knee surgery scheduled Thursday, so watch the right knee. Well, the first thing you do in referee's position, you shoot forearm, pull ankle up, drive. Well, what did he do? He does that. Boop, check that knee right. Ow, whoa, watch out. He said, hey, you shouldn't be here if you ain't ready. I said, oh, my gosh, I'm trying out for something. I'm trying to get a job, So he's being a real butthead. I'm like, so he's trying to cross face me. And I'm putting my head down and pop right there. And I was blocking everything he was doing because I know how to defense. Sure. Not offense. So, boom, boom. He's getting ticked off because he can't get anything on me. And so I sat down him a little bit and got away. And Jerry's down there and says, he's turtling up on you. Let me get in there with him. I don't want Jerry Briscoe getting in the ring with me. Are you kidding me? This is the guy I watched on TV. He's one of the greatest wrestlers ever in the history of the United States. I'm like, so he gets up there. Come here, stand up. I said, yeah, so my knee's killing. He said, lock up with me. So we locked up. He said, okay, lock up pretty good. He said, let's kind of lock up and go for real. I said, all right, well, you're not going to shoot? No, I'm not going to shoot. We're going to lock up. I said, locked up. Boom. First thing goes to where the headlock. I curled up a little bit. We go down. And next thing you know, I got his head. He's got my head. And we're like, we're so stubborn. We're not going to let go.
Right.
And we're hurting each other. And like, he said, hey, you let go, I'll let go. I let go completely.
Yeah.
And he let me go. Because not bad, kid, not bad. And Mike Rotundo said, let me have him. I said, Peter, I just got done doing it. I said, leave me alone. You know, I want to say, he said, I want some more of you. I said, all right, come on. And I'm not doing anything great. I am playing so defensive, it's ridiculous. They're having all the work. And I'm not out wrestling. Don't get the idea that I out wrestled anybody. All I did was hang on for dear life.
Yeah.
They didn't want to go through all this, right? So he comes after me, and we stood up. He came right after me real fast, and I went straight to the ground. I pulled him down on the ground like a jiu-jitsu guy would. And I went right to the ground. He's on top of me, and I got under him. I rolled him and got on top of him, and I was laying on top of him, and I rolled out. I got out of the ring and said, I got you. He said, get back up here. I said, nope. Not getting back up there. No, sirree. Because I slapped the mat so fast it sounded like a Woody Woodpecker. I said, I pinned you. You did not. I'm out. I'm seeing you later. If y'all need more out of me, give me a call. I'm done. And Gene's looking at me like, yeah, what are you doing? I said, I'm done. I said, ain't nobody else done all I done. I'm done. I said, you want to call me back? I gave it my best shot. That's all I got. And so he says, call us Thursday. I said, okay. So I called him Thursday. He said, come on in. We'll talk to you. So I went in there and talked to Sandy Scott. Sandy Ligon said, Ligon, why do you want to do this? I said, Sandy, I need a job. I said, I'm substitute teaching, making $20 a day. I did a little wrestling in the 70s with IWA, and pay was decent. I said, I figure I can make more with you guys working once a month than I do almost in a whole week with teaching.
Yeah.
I'll get my teaching degree back, or I'll do wrestling. He said, be in Winston-Salem, first match, October. I said, okay. So I went up there. Who did I have? I had the masked guys back then. What was that?
The Assassins?
The Assassins, yeah. Hercules Hernandez and Jody Hamilton.
Yeah.
My first match in the NWA was two masked guys, which ended up being the Thunderfoots. Our last matches as the Thunderfoots was basically a twin of what they did.
Right. Okay.
I was big, muscular Hercules Hernandez.
Right.
But more of the chubby, not as chubby, but the kind of chubby Jody Hamilton. So, and we had the same gimmick, same everything.
Yeah.
And my last matches was as Thunderfoot, and did some independent stuff. But I just like but let's kind of start that way, end that way. It's like poetic.
I love that. Well, in '85, you actually start doing the Thunderfoot gimmick with my buddy Joel Deaton. How did that come about?
We were wrestling as best we can, and one day we got a call. Said, "Jenny, come to the office." And I already delivered a ring when I hurt my shoulder, my pec. I helped deliver a ring with a guy named what was his name? I'll think of it a little bit. We drove all the way across country in the U-Haul and delivered the ring out there because they wouldn't let us use the rings they had in California. We had to deliver our own ring. And we drove a U-Haul all the way across country. The thing would not do more than 55 miles per hour.
Yeah.
All the way out there. I did the refereeing out there, travel all up and down. I got a year of refereeing, and they got to know me that I'm a man of my word. I show up. I may not be the greatest, or I'll show up, though.
Yeah.
And that's half the time, that's it. If you just show up, it's better not having nobody because somebody's ticked when you don't show up.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got there, and so we come in the dressing room. I meet Dusty's office. We think, we getting fired or what? I said, what do we do? I don't do that. Joel, he's done crazy things. Right? Joel, what'd you do?
Sure.
I ain't done nothing. I said, so we're both sitting here, both done nothing. Why are they calling us both in for? Because we rarely wrestled each other. I knew him, he knew me, but we didn't.
Sure.
We didn't have a relationship. And they said, Dusty, we're going to start a gimmick, Thunderfoot. And we're like, yep, what's that? Tag team Thunderfoot 1, time 2, have a loaded boot, and y'all going to go to Kansas City and win the Central State title. When's this going to happen? Next weekend. So they got a plane flight, flew us out there. We're wearing a mask for the first time. never wore a mask in my life. I'm wearing a mask. I did one flight, but I'm wearing a mask now. It's like fully got the uniform, the whole thing, the cape and everything like that. I'm like, gee whiz. We got these two little Mexican guys we had to wrestle, which they're pretending to be Indians, which they're close enough. And they're not real big, though. And they're nice guys, right? So we go out there, and they don't know, but we're there to take their title. So we tell them, so listen, got bad news. They want us to take the title. Well, it's okay, you take the title, and then we have another comeback, blah, 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 blah. That's how it usually works, right? He said, we're going to take the title, and you're not coming back for it. What? I said, I'm the messenger. I said, we're going to take the title, and then we're going to fly back, and we'll come down and work the area for a while. Whether they'll use y'all or not, we have no idea. We're just being told what to do. Well, they weren't happy. They want us to go in there and beat them up real quick. Boom, boom, 30 seconds, match is over with, bye. Well, Joel's like me. That's kind of disrespect them a little bit. So we let him go for a little bit, let him get a little bit of a comeback. Got us a little bit of trouble. Said, that ain't what we told you to do. He said, well, they kind of, we finally beat them. It took about 4 or 5 minutes rather than 30 seconds.
Right.
But we win 1, 2, 3. Everybody's boo, boo, because we cheated. We cheated to do it. And so like boom, boom, boom. And we leave. We fly back. Said, all right, get your cars. You head out that way. You're booked every night. And the territory there was really, really bad. They guaranteed us $50 a night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometime we got 75, and I was like, whoa. Understood that they're fronting the money because you have to draw tickets.
Right.
It's the WNBA. How come we don't get paid more? Because nobody's coming to watch.
Right.
Nobody's watching their matches. So we were trying there to help build up the program. And slowly and surely, we started making $60, $70, $85 a night. Some nights not too good, but we're trying to build the business.
Right.
And so it's all about more ticket sales, more money. That's the point. It doesn't just appear out of the blue. And so we're doing that. We're doing pretty good. And we're starting to grow it. All right, we got this thing going. And I was like, need you back in Charlotte. Charlotte? We'll bring you back to Charlotte. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. Because I was so tired of Kansas City.
Yeah.
I mean, lovely town. But you just don't know anybody. It's just
right. Right.
So we're there. And the last match we had was in St. Louis as we're leaving town. The snow is a-coming. And we got on the highway and hit the mountainous areas, the Ozarks and all that stuff, kept on going. I said, man, we got out here just in time because the next day it was a snowstorm like crazy, and nobody could do anything. Nobody's going to go to wrestling matches. You're not going to get paid. So everybody's like, they were sending them a little bit of money, fronting them a little bit of money, but you're living on just the check you're making. You had to be tight with your money.
Yeah.
And roommates like crazy, 3, 4 guys living together so they could afford a hotel, apartment, stuff like that. And so that's how we got into the Thunderfoot thing and doing that and came back. We arrived in Greenville, South Carolina for our first match in Charlotte area. And no one's seen us. We're brand new. So we show up and we walk out and from parts unknown. Ladies and gentlemen, unknown weight, the tag team, Thunderfoot 1 and 2, and the crowd goes, boo! I mean, it's like, Lord, they don't even know who we are. Why are they booing us? And Joel looked at me and said, we're screwed. So what do you mean we're screwed? We got more heat than the Stars. Because they announced so-and-so come out there. But they were booing the crap out of us because they found out they've been showing tapes of us wrestling at late night TV. Then Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. Here's the Mid-Coast Central States. Here's from the Central States. Here's from Southern. Boom, yeah. And then people were seeing how we beat people up and cheat like crazy. And the Thunder so here, boo. And I said, what do you mean we got heat? He said, well, if the head aligner is not getting a lot of cheers, our boos are our cheers. If our boos are louder than his cheers, he'll do. And of course, shortly thereafter, they not let us wrestle as a tag team hardly ever again, only occasionally.
Right.
Did the Baltimore thing, and then after that, it was just like Joel would be going in one town, I'd be in another.
Right.
And then when you come to tag team, you got to do your job. Not really timing is way off because you haven't been working together at all.
Right.
two strangers in the ring together. So it just got very difficult. They were just trying to do their best to kill us all. They did. He left and it's over. And so Joe was much better at doing this than I was. He had a lot of the experience. Make faces and scream real loud. I was kind of shy. In the outfit, the Thunderfoot outfit, I was more flamboyant than being just Gene Ligon. Gene Ligon was more of a, how you doing? I finally got to it as I got older. I didn't care no more. Screw it. Make a face. But you have to have that facial expressions and the extra you get hit and throw yourself back. I didn't start consciously doing a lot of that till the end of my career.
Gotcha.
It just wasn't natural.
Right. Yeah.
So Gene, tell us about some of the maybe craziest people you knew in the business.
Jared and Jimmy Street's probably two craziest guys I've met.
I mean that besides those two.
It's true, Let's see. Who's that? I can't really say anything bad about too many people because they were all different.
It can be crazy. It can be crazy in a good way.
Yeah.
Maybe quirky or something.
Y'all know George South?
Oh yeah. Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love you.
When I did my student teaching at WC Friday, 7th, 8th grade, and 9th grade, I did my student teaching at the middle school, WC Friday. Two little boys come up to me. They were about, 12 years old. Mr. Ligon. Hey, how you doing? Coach, Coach, Mr. Call me Coach. Coach Ligon. Man, you need to go into professional wrestling. I'm 160 pounds. I ain't graduated college. What are you talking about? I said, professional wrestling. I like professional wrestling, but that's all we watch wrestling every week and we love it. I said, good. How'd you do? 10 years later, I'm at WCW TBS Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, starting my career with Crockett's. Just getting going. And so you got a wrestling match. And all of a sudden, a guy walked to me and said, Mr. Ligon. I'm like, who calls you Mr. Ligon? And they're an adult.
Yeah.
Except a little kid or a former student.
Yeah.
I said, why do you call me Mr. Ligon? Mr. Ligon, you had me in the 8th grade when I was at WC Friday. I'm George South.
That's wild.
We told you to go into professional wrestling.
No, you did.
I remember that. I said, that's you? He said, yeah. I just started doing it myself. I said, They've been backyard wrestling all this time. They've been doing all this stuff. I mean, George is into it. George is a good guy. Can't think
he is great. Love him. Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Wrestled in Australia, Japan, and Japanese was good. I tell you what, you don't want to mess with them boys.
Right.
Shape. I mean, they don't look in shape, but they in shape.
Yeah.
You get in the ring with them. I had start with the WCW. Redheaded guy was a champion at one time. It starts with a B, I think. His last name would be. But he was over there, and we tagged together one match. And I'm telling you, I was sucking wind. And this guy was like in and out of the ring, boom, boom, tag. He said, you got to go. These Japanese guys go. And the funny thing, when you come back from Japan, you get in the ring with the regular guys, you're 100 times faster than they are.
Yeah.
So they're doing a certain pace on the boom. What are you doing? So you just got back from Japan? Slow down. You're going 100 miles an hour. Those guys want to go. But funniest thing happened in Japan was Stan Hansen. Stan Hansen, big stud, big old man. But Stan was kind of like off-standish. He wouldn't speak to you. He didn't want to get too close to anybody because he knows the business. The guys basically are here to screw you or here to screw them. And the attitude's bad. You don't meet nice guys sometimes that just aren't out to get something. It's like the world from the circus world. There's always a side story. And they got more $5, and you never see it again. You just gave $5 away.
Right.
And don't have $5. So we were riding in a bus going up these mountains all through Japan. And he's up front, got his books out. He's a stock guy. He's in the stocks. And I'm sorry. I said, you ever looked at Food Line stock? He said, Food Line? I said, yeah, Food Line. It's Food Town. Then I think it might have been Food Line shortly thereafter. It wasn't what buying. I said, this little grocery store I saw in Salisbury, North Carolina, growing big time. The company's getting ready to buy them out, I think. So he looked them up. Sure enough, he invested into them. He said, the thing paid off good. Thank you. So we were over there, and Joel was there, and I was there, and I'm trying to learn how to do this. Joel's so far ahead of me on the whole thing. He said, because if I had to do it all over again, I'd go every month. Send me back over, come back. Send me back over, come back, because it was the best learning experience you ever will have.
Yeah.
And so we're there, and we're at a club because you have nothing to do all day long. But these clubs stay open at lunch. I like to do up in New York and have these clubs you go to that you have. You go inside, you never know which sunshine outside. It's dark. So you go in there, and as soon as you walk in, they introduce you to 2 or 3 women. Yeah. And what's going on? But it's a tradition. You basically have to have a guest to sit with, not a prostitute. It's just a girl from the Philippines. They come in, and they're to keep you company and keep you happy. How you? Hello, how are you? Hey, you need a drink? They don't help you buy a drink because they're going to get paid a commission based on everything they sell. So I said, no, I don't drink. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola? The Coca-Cola? Then don't touch it. No, Coca-Cola. 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 So we're sitting there, and Stan either suggested or somebody suggested, somebody go sing. So, and, Joe, you want to look and get in there and sing. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. Joe's looking at me like, this is the boss. I said, oh, gosh. So we go up there.
Okay.
Not a big crowd, little small place. Had a little uplift of a stage. And they got karaoke. And they turn on music. And I did it I said, I think it was, it's now or never. Elvis Presley is what we did. So we're singing along. And I'm singing. I like Elvis Presley. So I try to sing it like Elvis did.
Sure, yeah.
So we're singing along, and Joel's singing, and finally Joe walks off the stage. I'm sitting there, and I'm in the last part with the phrase, "It's my, it's now or never." So I'm singing. I did the best I could, and I'm like, "Yeah, Elvis Presley!" If I could, I walked off and stand there and says, well, "You're not so bad after all." That's kind of like I was accepted then. Beforehand, he thought I was gay because I wasn't married. I said,
sure.
"No, you're not married. You're 38 years old, 39 years old." I said, "Yeah." What? Yeah. No, I'm not funny. I just.
Right.
I said, how you get married? If you get married, you can be in this business. You'll end up getting a divorce.
Right.
Okay. So they just basically became real close after that. And I met Austin Idol was wrestling that night against a guy, and the guy picked him up and he fell funny and broke his ribs.
Oh.
And he's laying there in the ring. And the other guy's trying to sell, like he'd been injured or something, walking away, because he knows now, I have screwed up. I've hurt one of the American stars. And it wasn't on purpose. It was just an accident. And I'm sitting there watching the match because I'm trying to learn from all these guys. I'm watching. I said, Stan. And Stan's right here. There's a stage. They're behind a curtain stage. I'm in the down steps going down. And I'm sitting right there looking. I said, Stan, what? We got a problem. It's what? Austin's hurt. Austin's hurt. He come running and looked. There's Austin, like his face is turned white as a ghost. He's laying there holding his ribs. And so he goes there, son of a gun. So he grabs his rope, his bell on the end of it. Yeah, bang! He started banging on these Japanese people like crazy, running through the place. The place just spreads out. And as everybody's leaving, they slipped Austin out of the way and got him back to the dressing room. And then he goes, beats up the guy, for hurting Austin, but not really. But, beats him up, pins him. You don't mess with my wrestlers. Pushed it. And Austin leaves town the next couple of days because he has broken ribs and everything. He can't do anything.
Yes.
Then we wrestled there for a whole month. Got paid over $10,000 to bounce around, and they fed you. They gave you a place to sleep, and nice places. And I'm like, dude. My whole was get back so I can be a better wrestler with Jim Crockett Promotions. When I should have been get back, take a 30-day break, and go back. Because you go 6-7 months a year, you're making $70,000. Back then, making $10,000 a year was not a bad paycheck. 20.
No, not at all.
20,000, you're doing good, but 80,000, oh my gosh.
Right.
And it's all cash.
Man, that's awesome.
You're trying to leave town without claiming anything? And they said, do not claim your money. I said, why? The thing's going to ask, do you have more than $10,000? And so I'm going to say no. He said, yes, you're going to say no. I got to take the money. So I said, you declare? And I have nothing to declare. So they kind of look at you and wink because they're all wrestling fans.
Right.
They all know you're getting paid more than that. You know, you got Stan Hansen getting $30,000.
Right, right.
So I found out that you could lay over and I've been to Hawaii one time in my life as a cheerleader at Gardner Webb. I was a cheerleader for 1 year, and our basketball team had to play a game in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
7 days. Loved it. Didn't want to come back home, but I love my mom and dad, my brother. I got to come back home. I said, man, I want to live here. This is where and my buddy and I started. Hey, you still got another semester of school to go. And I said, oh, gosh, we could just stay here because it was ideal.
Right.
You know, get a boat, you paddle out there, and people pay you money for doing the paddling.
Right.
You live as a young man, you know. And so we did that, and then I said, if I ever get back to Hawaii, and the guy said, well, we flying back. You want to fly back through Hawaii or through Seattle? I said, Hawaii? I'm going to just stay 1 day in Hawaii. It'd be good. He said, well, you can lay over. I said, what's a layover? Layover is you say, I want to stay here 3 days, 4 days, a month, because they'll let you lay over as long as you wanted to back then. I said, you mean I can stay a month? He said, yeah. How about 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks. What you want to? So what me and Joel do, we stayed, I think it was a week, 2 weeks. And the hotel we're at was going $80 a night. Right next to it's $200 something a night at the Hyatt or the Hilton. This is called the Waikiki Circle. It's still there. It's got a different name now. It was a circular hotel. It was basically a Motel 6, but it was there before all these other ones were there.
Yeah.
Everything around it. It was still there. And it's $80 a night, but it was plain Jane. We're talking plain Jane. And we called a guy and said, we want to get a special fee as a restaurant. I know what you're talking about. Come in, talk. So the guy was playing dumb on the phone. We get there, and he says, it's normally 80. Yours is 20.
Oh man!
Wow.
20 a piece. He said, no, 20 total. I said, 20 total. 14 days.
Yeah, book it.
$140, and we were there for 2 weeks.
Paradise,
dude. Right across the street, they had the little thing where everybody came down to parade for Christmas parade, had the statue of Manawana, whatever his name is, and right out the door is the beach.
Man.
No, it's not oceanfront. They don't have oceanfront there. They had Ocean View, which is across the water. We got there, and all of a sudden, you know, there's a couple guys there that had the boats that you row out and everything. They're sons of wrestlers. And then Joseph, so that's so-and-so's son. Hey, Johnny, hey, Joe, what are you doing, Joe? Hey, so we get on the boat, and we're rowing out there, and they do all the rowing. We get all the way out in the middle of the water, and they turn it around. Next thing you know, waiting for a wave.
Yeah.
So here it comes, guys. Start paddling. We start, boom. The next thing that wave picks you up and carries you on down the thing. We get there and said, you want to do it again? I said, no, man. What do y'all charge? They charge like $50 to take a ride out, but we got it for free. I said, man, this is where I want to be. And then after I went to Australia, we came back and did the same thing. They still do the layover? Yeah, they do the layover 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They'd go up a little bit. It was more $15 a person then. So I stayed there with a buddy of mine, and went out there, and we were out in the middle of the water out there again, same bunch of guys, all former wrestlers' sons and stuff like that. We're out in the middle of the water, and all of a sudden, here comes a boat going by with a bunch of naked women on it. I said, wow. They had nudist bank. And holy cow, they're having a party. Yeah, they have a party over there. That's a party boat. Looks like trouble to me. So they'd be paddling. I said, they don't be paddling, everything be wiggling all over the place. We finally got back in on that, and I said, man, this is great. Because Hawaii, you ever been?
Yes. Yeah. We both have. Yeah, both. Great.
I was there just last summer.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to leave.
I know. Yeah. I know.
The air smells different.
Yeah, it does. It's just something about it. Yeah.
Now, if you want to go to a place that's almost like Hawaii, go to Bermuda.
Oh yeah,
Bermuda's nice too. I've been there too. Yeah.
Man, it's a little pricey.
It is. Yeah.
You go to the right time of the year, you close your eyes, no problem. Say, am I in Hawaii or am I in Bermuda? You don't know.
Right.
The water's blue, and I wrestled Junkyard Dog there.
Yeah.
Junkyard Dog was known for going 10 minutes, and that's it. 10 minutes is all you get out of Junkyard Dog. And they told me, said, you got to get some time out of him, Gene, because if he goes 10 minutes, the rest of the guys, we're done in 45 minutes. We've got to get an hour and a half in. I said, I got an hour and a half? He said, no, get as much time as you can out of Junkyard. We went 40 minutes.
Wow.
45 minutes. But he was having so much fun. But he got tired. He just quit. I said, boom, boom, boom. Because he didn't like, but we just had a lot of fun that night. And he was enjoying himself. So it had been good. He was a great guy, too.
Yeah.
And he just, but that was fun wrestling him there. I got pictures of stuff we did there with, the camera and holding a camera. The problem is, it was so misty in Bermuda, the camera would fog up. Put the camera in front, can't see. Wipe it off, wipe it off. But it was just one of those days where I had a lot of mist and humidity and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that was
amazing.
That was some of the fun times. Australia was good. Japan was good. Bermuda was good. Everything else good. So,
that's awesome.
That was the highlights of my career. So.
Yeah, those are great, man. I tell you, this episode has flown by. This conversation, we've got to get you back for a part 2 for sure, Gene. This is no question. One thing we always ask, Jared, you go ahead.
So Gene, if you look back on your career and you're like, that was my favorite match or my best match I ever had. Do you have one or two that stand out to you?
Oh, let's see. Well, there's, I had one against, it wasn't on TV or anything. They had one against Superstar, Mass Superstar.
Yeah.
GPS wasn't around, and I'm heading up towards Pennsylvania somewhere. I don't know where it's at. Anything above North Carolina is Yankeetown. I don't know where it's at. So we're up there up in the mountains, Pennsylvania area. Might have been New York. I don't know. It's just all there together. And I'm driving there trying to find my way to this baseball field, which we'd had a match there before. And said, they want you to come back. I said, okay, we're coming back. Well, I'm thinking it was like last time, after the baseball game. 10 o'clock at night, ball game's over with. You have a wrestling match for about an hour and 30 minutes. Yay! So I'm arriving about 9 o'clock, thinking, okay, get there, put on the Thunderfoot outfit, because I'm wrestling against Mass Superstar. I arrived, get out of the car, put on my hoodie, and walked. I was like, Al, I tell you, he's like a coward. I'm hearing this guy making an announcement. What's this talking about? I said, he's not got the guts to show up. I'll take on anybody. I'm like, who's he talking about? I said, Thunderfoot didn't show up tonight. Whoa, 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 whoa. Thunderfoot. I'm running inside. I said, where have you been? Where have I been? I've been getting here. It didn't start at 10 o'clock? No, it started at 8 o'clock. The main event is you and Superstar, and you're not in the ring. Crap. I'm putting stuff on. Boom, 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 boom. Guys are trying to help me get my boots on, Popper. I walk out the door, boom, and there's Mass Superstar beating up on 2 underneath guys, throwing them around like no big deal. Where are they? They're afraid of me. And so while he's doing all that on the floor, on the grass of a baseball field, he's talking like crazy. So I slide into the ring. And I tell him, give me a mic. So I got the mic. I went, Superstar, what are you doing? The match is up here. Come get some, big boy. Where the heck have you been? You've been stretched it as far as it goes. People think it does not show unless he's had an accident and got killed. Right. He would show up. So they knew I'd show up, but something went wrong. And so he crawls in the ring. We start going at it. Boom, 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 boom. And it wasn't much of a match as far as that. It was no rhyme or reason. It was just beat me up, throw me out, beat you up, throw you out. It was up and down. And people were just, yeah. All of a sudden, I hit the ground. And Superstar, when he lays a chair onto you, you're getting a chair. I mean,
yeah.
But he hits it nice and flat, so it doesn't hurt as bad, but it still hurts. Yeah, I said, I'm laying there going, oh my gosh. I said, son of a gun. And then he throws the chair to the side, goes pick something else up as he bends over. I'm got up and I've got the same chair. He's got his back to me. I said, look out. He takes something off. He hits the ground. He said, but now we're back in the ring and we're going at it back and forth. I don't know what's going on. They decided to make it creative. Next thing you know, comes King Kong Bundy. And I'm in the ring, and I'm against Superstar. I'm like, Lord, I hope he's coming to be on my side. I look like a midget compared to these two guys. And they come walking. He gets in the ring. First thing he grabs Superstar Peter, and throws him. And he's big, makes Superstar look like a midget himself. This guy's huge. So we're beating up on Superstar. Here comes another dude coming in. Boom. And he's like a big star. And he starts beating on us. Boom, boom, boom. Drop it. And then all of a sudden, boom, yeah, throws him out. And here comes Jimmy Snuka. Now, eventually we got 6 guys in the ring. Jimmy Snuka, we're pound, boom, boom, back and forth, elbows, boom, boom. Finally, somebody gives me a big body slam. Bam. Look up. Snuka's on the ring up there. Jumps up, dives. Boom. Lands right on top of me. He is one solid guy.
Yeah.
He splashes you. So he splashed me real good. I laid there and I went, boom, 1, 2, 3. I went, check mark. I got snookerized. I got the big old Superfly, and I got hit by the chair. And all these things happened to me. I got little check marks off. Ric Flair shot me. That's good. Got a check mark there. And so I got Bruno Sammartino, a highly respected young man. He was in the ring refereeing one of my matches. One time I said, hit me. He said, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Because he kind of like, he's an easygoing guy. He's not aggressive like, most respected guy in the world. But I said, no, I need you to slug me because I'm pushing him back up. And he's refereeing. He got the uniform. I'm pushing him. Come on, hit. He says, push. Finally, he goes, all right. Boom. Didn't hurt me at all. It shot right across here, but it looked beautiful. Yeah. Boom, I hit the ground. Boom. I said, check mark. Bruno hit me. So just little things like that. I took, wrestled in the refereed in the LA Lakers old arena, which is, what was the name of that thing? I forgot. But did that one. Did a San Francisco one match there. I refereed that one. Did an Arizona. I wrestled against the guy, the big black guy. What's his name? In movies and stuff like that. Had a different colored
Tiny Lister. Tiny Lister. Is that his name?
Yeah, Tiny Lister.
Yeah.
And he had never wrestled before.
Oh wow. Oh.
He was doing it for some kind of thing. So I got him in Arizona, I think it's New Mexico, and at a rodeo thing where got a ring sitting in a rodeo area where all the people walk through it, have the cows and everything, but it's just wrestlers. And and they knew that I could take. I was always good with a guy that knew nothing. Right. I could make him look good because I just knew what he could do and what he couldn't do. Yeah, and that's from my wrestling coaching background. And so I got Lister. I said, grab him by the neck. He said, now pick me up. I said, whoa. He said, just give me a push. So I go, bam. So he's so super strong. I'll make him super strong. And finally go for the weak spot. Boom. And the knee, and then you start working on the leg or something like that. Because either they're down, they're good, and they're up, they're good. But in between, they're never good. They're hard.
Right.
Got to show them at his strongest and his weakest. And that way it keeps him. But he finally, he got me and beat me, and I said, he says, man, thank you. I said, hey, it's easy. And I'd never been to New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm in the room sleeping. I wake up the next morning, open the door, and boom, I saw these mountains. I went, holy cow, I thought it was the flat desert. There's mountains all over the place. It's beautiful. So I want to go back to Albuquerque one day. Same place. But it was beautiful. It's like, man. And that was one of the good. I could only had him one time. I don't think he had much of a wrestling career, but he was doing a movie at the time, and I think they wanted to show some stuff that he, strongman stuff. But a nice guy. He just as nice as could be.
That's awesome.
Usually the guys that play the bad guy.
Yeah.
Is always the nicest guys.
Yeah, I've heard that. The heels usually, most evil heels are usually the nice guys.
That's right. And the guys, most wonderful superstars, the jerks.
Right.
They're just a jerk.
Yeah.
They had to feed you what you believed you are.
Right.
But a guy getting beat up all the time, it's like you gotta be having fun. They're paying me to get beat up. Who cares? I kids in school say, "You got beat up, coach." I said, "I got paid." Yeah. Did you lose? No, I didn't lose. I got paid. Right. You don't when you get paid. Now, if they beat me up, threw me around, put me in the hospital, and said there's no check, yeah, I got beat. I got beat up.
What are you up to these days? What's life got you with now?
I teach school at a charter school in Monroe, North Carolina, Apprentice Academy.
Okay.
More of a blue collar oriented type bunch of kids. Kids that want to go into welding. We don't have welding.
Yeah.
But next couple of years, we'll have actual welding going on at the school. Teach them how to weld, how to build cars, how to fix a car, all kinds of stuff like that. I'm the physical education teacher, coach of everything they got, basically. I coach volleyball for girls. I coach wrestling. I coach male volleyball this year. They don't have male volleyball in North Carolina yet, but they have club volleyball because they won't recognize it as a North Carolina sport. So you can have a club team, and you have 8th graders to 12th graders and just play like crazy. And have fun doing that. And we're going to have our first match Monday. We haven't practiced. And we got a practice coach that will let you decide that. So we go out there and play against other teams that have the same amount of experience as you got, and they hand us our butt. You're going to say, maybe we need to practice. Practice is always good.
Right.
But some of them are athletic enough that they can play against themselves pretty good. I said, if you play against a team that sets it up, and a guy comes in, pow. I said, y'all used to just getting it back across the net, which has good thing about that, but knowing when to hit it and when not to hit it hard is very important. So they're going to find out Monday. We'll go out there and we may do good, we may not do good, but they all think they're superstars. Yeah. I got my high school wrestling team. Oh, coach, I can do this and do that. I said, no. Yeah, I said, you're good at your own venue. When we're amongst small dogs, you're the big puppy.
Right.
But all of a sudden you're a puppy and you walk up and you see a Rottweiler over there. You're going to find out he's a dog and you're a dog. But you're not the dog.
Right.
And they go, wear the tail out. He just picked me up like I was nothing. There's ways to stop that, but you're not willing to do it. So they think they know. So I said, let you find out yourself. I'm the kind of coach that I want you to do your best, Kim. But if you tell me that I got this, coach, I got this, okay, go right ahead.
Sure.
What do I do now, coach? Oh, you know everything.
I thought you had it.
Try a thing. You're like, that thing you saw on TV. Yeah, do that. It didn't work. I said it didn't work because it don't work. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Right.
They get a headlock. I said, don't get a headlock. Get an arm bar and break the guy down. Break it down. Arm bar, shoot a half Nelson. It's boring as crap. But guess what? You win 90% of the time.
Right. Fundamentals. Yeah.
Fundamentals. Just stick with the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Did you play sports?
I did. I played basketball mostly and baseball. Yeah. Love both.
You a round man? Round baller?
I'm not much of a baller, but I played. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed both. Yeah, I was a 5 fouls on the basketball team. That was my position.
I tell every kid who plays basketball, I said, you're allowed to foul 4 times.
Right.
You're not allowed to foul 5 times. So
I was allowed 5.
Said, you're allowed 3. Go ahead. Yeah. If you're going to foul a guy, don't try to kill him, but make sure that he is not getting that shot off.
Right.
Get that ball, rip it out, no foul.
Yeah.
Don't hammer the guy's head and try to hurt the guy.
Right.
So if he goes up, you hit that ball as hard as you can, not viciously, but just hit it real good. Make sure you got the ball. And the guy don't fall down wrong or something like that. But just make sure that he don't get that shot off.
Right.
You're allowed to foul. You're not allowed to foul. Yes, you're allowed to foul 4 times.
Right.
It's the 5th one. They say, you're done now. You're out of here.
You're out of here. See you later, buddy.
I'll be a jerk 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
So in wrestling, I said, you're allowed to stall. No, you're not. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
They'll do this. Warning, stalling. Then it's warning, stalling, 1 point. Stalling, 1 point. Stalling, 2 points. Stalling, disqualify guy.
Yeah.
Now, you got a warning. And 3 different times you can stall. How many minutes go by in that time? I'd say at least a minute, minute and a half. If you got 30 seconds to go in a match, you stall your butt off. Because the ref goes, 1, 2, 3. He ain't going to do that.
Yeah.
He's going to give you 15, 20 seconds if you're not doing anything.
Can you imagine how long George South can stall? Speaking of George. Yeah.
George is something special.
He gets heat taken off his jacket. He's so good. Yeah, George is great. Yeah. Well, Gene, thank you so much for coming on and being with us today. I tell you, like I said, it flew by. We just scratched the surface on some things, but man, I tell you, it's been a blessing to have you on, and we definitely got to get you on for a part 2. Maybe we can get you and Joel together. Who knows? Maybe, right?
Yeah. I haven't spoken to Joel much. I've texted him a couple times, but what did you say? He had the stroke problem.
Right.
Doing good and everything like that, but rarely do you get a chance to talk to him or anything. Yeah. Keep him in prayer. He's a good guy. He's going through a lot.
He has. He's a great guy, and I think the world of him.
Very helpful to me and teaching me how to, because I learned a lot from him. And I just he's special in my life. And I need to get hold of him. I lost my niece 3 weeks ago.
Oh no! So sorry.
Brother's daughter died at 28 years old.
Oh man!
She had a baby on the 10th, and on the 15th.
Oh my gosh! Holy cow! I'm so sorry to hear that.
So I hate to put a downer on it, but she was a sweet little girl, and wanted to get a little lift on it. I was having an independent match one time, and she and my brother and his son all came to the match to watch. It was a small venue, not very big. Guy threw me out of the ring. I hit the ground, flop. A good flap. I love that sound. It's got flap. Oh.
Yeah, right.
And next thing I know, here comes a little 8-year-old comes over to me, and she's above me trying to help me up. The guy's above me trying to get ready to jump off the ropes to him.
Right.
I'm like, no, Jordan, you got to go back. Jordan, go back. I'm trying to push her back. She was worried about Uncle Gene.
Yeah.
That was the heart she had. She's always concerned about everybody else. And we miss her. She's happy now because she missed my mother.
Yeah.
And her Nana was her special person. So that, as we believe, they're in heaven together. And they're
Amen.
Having some great conversations, probably talking about what's that crazy Uncle Gene doing. I don't know. He's messing something up. So.
Oh man. Well, our condolences to your family. I the loss of someone so young, that's so tragic. And we'll have you all, and our listeners will have you in our thoughts and prayers for this time, because that's just heartbreaking,
In Christ we are one. So.
That's right, sir. Well, thank you so much, Gene. And it truly has been an honor to have you on. And we'll talk again soon, I promise. Okay.
Tell Jared, didn't make him mad. He had to get off. I know he's he's a busy man. I know.
He had to go pick up the kids, man. So he said he's sorry. He says,
gotta be a daddy.
Yeah.
That's more than being a host.
It is. And that's kind of why I say go ahead. He's my little brother until he started beating me up, so.
Yeah, that's my little brother. I said, my goodness. I said, because I'm Big League, Biglig, and my little brother was called Little League. And they had somebody bullied him one time in the middle school right across the street from East Rowan. And I was the high school wrestler that had the guillotine and the banana split is what I did. And they were picking on him one time, and they said, "One of the kids, you don't know who his brother is?" And I wasn't no big bad guy. And he said, "Who?" He said, "It's Gene Ligon. He puts that banana split on people and rips their legs apart."
Yeah. Which
is all made up. I did that move, but
right.
You make him mad, he'll come over here and he'll rip your legs apart. Why bother my brother after that no more? I tell you that, because just your mind goes the other way. The one funny thing that happened in high school, I'll just let you know, I'll let you go. Yeah. I mean, I'd gone back to my high school the year after. We went 9-1, and this year they were undefeated. This is 1969 season.
Yeah.
And I graduated 69, so the 69 season going 70. They're undefeated playing against a team that the only team we lost to. They're playing against. And the guy comes out on the field drunk.
Yeah.
Former player from the year before from the other team. And we're beating them pretty good.
Yeah.
On the sideline helping us. Come on, guys, we got it. We got it. Because they were a much bigger school than we were. But we're beating them. And he's out there. And my coach looked at me and said, "Gene, get him off the field. This guy's drunk. Get him off the field." I said, hey, come here. Come on, get off the field. So I'm kind of easing him off.
Right.
I'm 160 pounds. He's about the same size. So I'm pushing him off. Hey, you got to go away. You can't do this. So I kind of turned my back and walked away. Next thing I know, he's out on the field again screaming at the coach. And the coach looked at me and said, "Ligon, I told you to get him off the field." I said, "All right." And coach says, "Come here, guys." So I grabbed him and said, "Come on, let's go. To kind of help him along, didn't want to hurt. He takes a swing. I pick him up. My first body slam. Picked him up. Bam. I land on top of him. I'm sitting there, got him by the coat. And he's like this. I'm getting ready. I said, "I will knock you out if you don't quit." And at that time, somebody grabbed me on the arm. I look back, it's my mother.
Oh, wow.
He was made of stands all the way down.
Yeah.
The guy said, "Let go of that boy, Gene." The cops got there, and they picked him up, took him off because he's drunk. And he sent a letter apologizing to school and stuff like that. He just got drunk.
Right.
But the cops said, "Man, your mother beat us to it." So I'm feeling good about myself. I saw you slam the guy. I said, "No, it wasn't that big of a deal." And I wasn't in wrestling. I wasn't in pro wrestling yet. I wouldn't even think about it. I'm just being me. And go back to the dressing room, all the guys, it's a good game, guys. Hey, you got him. Hey. I'm walking out. I walk out. There's about 10 or 15 guys waiting for me. I'm like, oh, no. Your manhood starts to shrink.
Right.
You begin to, I said, all right. So I'm looking at them all. I said, you threw our buddy down. I said, all right, listen, I'll fight you. I'll fight you one-on-one. We're not going to have this gang fighting on me. And I'll look at him. I said, "If y'all want to go, let's go." So I put up my dukes ready to go. And I've never been in a fight in my life. Yeah. I know I'm going to get my butt kicked. I'm like, all right. And they all started walking away. I went, yes. I showed them, didn't I? I turned around, the whole football team was behind me. So I said, "Oh, it wasn't me. It was them."
Right.
Because I'm seeing it from my viewpoint.
Sure.
Yeah, you guys are scared of me. Yeah, I'm the man. Well, 22 other guys behind me, I'm the man.
Right.
So I like making fun of myself because I think it's fun to do because
Me too.
As important as you think you are in this world.
Right.
You're not that important.
No. Yeah.
There's always somebody that's probably more important than I am. So, but I have my place. I have my spot. And you've been a blessing to me, Jimmy, and glad to hear from you. And call me anytime. And we're glad to do another interview, talk about some other subjects or something like that. We're very open to a lot of things, and so
thank you. And today you are the most important because this is your show today. So there you go.
Darn.
Thank you, Gene. You're the best.
Take care. God bless.
Talk soon, man. Take care.
Join me, Gene Jackson, for the Jackson Interaction Podcast, where I'll be doing one-on-one interviews with people from the world of professional wrestling, as well as stand-up comedy. You can get them anywhere podcasts are available in both video and audio form, but you can find them all at genejacksonpod.com.
This is your rock star ring announcer, Aaron Camaro. I'm a man who believes the two greatest art forms ever created are professional wrestling and heavy rock music. So when I'm not hosting the best parties that also happen to be live professional wrestling shows, I'm hosting the Decibel Geek Podcast. Decibel Geek is a weekly podcast that features discussions of all things rock. We're talking the Beatles, the Stones, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, Black Sabbath, Kiss, Ozzy, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Alice in Chains, Pantera, and everything in between. Plus, we'll turn you on to new bands from today that have the same spirit and style that the legends do. Decibel Geek is hosted by myself, along with Rockin' Pod founder Chris Sinzak, and each week you'll get interviews with famous musicians and industry insiders, along with informative, entertaining, humorous, and insightful discussions, and most importantly, a passion for the music. So if you love to rock out as much as I do, then this is your invitation to the greatest rock and roll party in all of podcasting. It's Decibel Geek, and it's available right now on all major podcast platforms. Oh yeah!
Oh, Sheik, man, I tell you, Gene Ligon, one more time for Mr. Thunderfoot number 2. What a great dude. Great stories. Just a great guy.
Yeah, man. Gene's such an easy guy to talk to. He's humorous. He's passionate about the business, and it was just good to hear his stories, and I'm sure he has thousands more that we barely scratched the surface with. So
yeah, well, as we always say, there's always room for a part 2 in the future. So we'll go with that. We just want to thank you all so much, especially that last Jamie Dundee episode did great. We appreciate y'all listening to that. We appreciate y'all enjoying Gene today. We thank y'all so much for all the great support you give us. You can always find all the information about us on our Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram at GMBMPW. And, honestly, we just, keep your ear to the ground with all things Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling. And, hopefully you'll enjoy what we've got coming up. I know we've got I said this was going to be the George Weingroff episode. Had a little health issue for George that we're, hoping everything's good, but I think we've got him lined up actually next now. So it's going to work. It's just, getting him on here.
Just timing sometimes, man.
Timing and people got lives. Yeah.
People got lives and health to take care of and everything like that. So it's
yeah, exactly. But we'll have George and it'll be great. And of course, Gene is a great opportunity. He was next on the list. It's just all about, getting the timing on everything. But Gene was a perfect replacement. And he wasn't even really a replacement. It was just, hey, look, here's next. Gene's next. Yeah. So, but anyway, we thank y'all so much for listening today. And, if you don't mind, go check out Live and in Color with Wolfie D. We just had recent shows with John Schuyler and a very great episode with
Eric Watts.
We just had Eric Watts on the show. And what'd you think of that one, Judd?
It's been great so far. I haven't finished it yet, but what I've started has been great.
Yeah, Eric's a talker. He's got some stories, but I really feel like
funny stuff too, man.
Yeah, I really feel like if you haven't listened, you should. He's got a very unique perspective on the business, coming from obviously his dad, Cowboy Bill Watts, and growing up in the business. Very similar to Jamie Dundee, except maybe not as live wire as Jamie is, but anyway. But we do have Al Perez coming up next on the Wolfie D podcast. I'm excited about that. Of course, being a huge Gary Hart and Al Perez fan, I'm really excited for that. So
that should be a good one too, brother, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, y'all check us out at Live Wolfie D or Live and in Color with Wolfie D on all them podcast apps, YouTube and all that. But most importantly, just check out at GMBMPW and join us in our Facebook group. We have a good time in there. We try to get you some different stuff and not the same old stuff. So hopefully y'all are enjoying that. But other than that, Sheik, I got nothing else today.
No, not much, brother. I'm just looking forward to everything to come. It's one of my favorite times of the year with March Madness with basketball. So it's always one of my favorite times of the year, but never too busy watching something else to concentrate on wrestling. So
yeah, that's how it goes, right?
Well, absolutely.
Well, y'all have a good time. Enjoy your March Madness. I'll see you probably around the last game or two, and we'll see how that ends up. But once again, we thank y'all so much. We'll see y'all next time on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Don't forget.
No. Thunder.
With a tear in my eye. This is the greatest moment in my life.
We'll see you later.
This has been a James Rock Street production.